Chapter 681. Sheng Xiao looked down at her from above. It seemed that she would not give up until he cleared her ren and du meridians today. Therefore he took the opportunity to sit down on the sofa and then scooped her onto his lap. "Tell me, what can't you figure out?" Mu Qiqi wrapped her arms around Sheng Xiao's neck and told him what they had discovered today, including the fact that they had discovered that the Dark Abyss was live-streaming people. The one thing that was stuck in her mind was why those teenagers were willing to die. "You spent 100,000 to become a member of the Dark Abyss. What did you find after you entered?" "I can gamble and become rich overnight," Mu Qiqi answered Sheng Xiao's question. "You said it before that those 8 children don't come from good families. If they hear that they can become rich overnight in the Dark Abyss, what will they do?" "Go to the Dark Abyss. But they don't have the money to join the club," Sheng Xiao reminded her. "You spent 100,000 to gamble it all. At worst you'll lose it. But what about them?" Mu Qiqi fell into deep thought. If they really heard about the Dark Abyss and wanted to gamble on this opportunity, they would definitely think of a way to raise money. But before that, the people in the bureau had also conducted a financial investigation on these children and found nothing unusual. After Sheng Xiao heard this, he pinched her nose. "It seems that I really have to bring you to the casino in the future. If a gambler has nothing, does that mean he can't gamble anymore?" "No, he can pawn his clothes, hands, feet, kidneys, eyes, and even his life. He will give whatever the other party wants." Mu Qiqi came to a sudden realization. "I understand now." "You understand just like that? Then do you know what to do?" Sheng Xiao looked at the little one meaningfully. "Previously, when I registered for the Dark Abyss, I spent money directly. So, when I go in, I spend money. And the more I spend, the more benefits I get. Even when I reach 1 million, I can receive a live broadcast address from the system. But what if I don't have money but want to spend money in the Dark Abyss?" Sheng Xiao smiled when he heard this. His reminder was not in vain. This little one understood with a hint. "Excited, aren't you?" Mu Qiqi hugged Sheng Xiao's neck and nodded. Yes. I really want to experiment." "Experiment?" Sheng Xiao picked her up. "Do you still care about me?" Mu Qiqi exclaimed and quickly wrapped her arms around Sheng Xiao's neck. "Of course you're the boss." Sheng Xiao placed her on the bed and pressed her down. She had almost forgotten who her husband was because he had not fixed this little thing recently. Mu Qiqi lay on the bed and looked at Sheng Xiao. Soon she had forgotten about the Dark Abyss. Because investigating the case was important, appeasing the jealous man was equally important. Moreover, her admiration for him came from the inside out. His mind was always clear and he could quickly grasp things that normal people could not imagine. Even if it was an area he was not familiar with, he could still help her. This man seemed to be born to be a god. Therefore, in the midst of passion, Mu Qiqi did not hide her infatuation with this man. Ever since she had a crush on him, her feelings for him had never waned. Instead, they grew deeper and deeper. However, sometimes she felt guilty because she didn't seem to have done anything for him in this family. After the joy, there was only silence in the room. Mu Qiqi couldn't help sighing in his arms. "Isn't it enough?" "No, it's just that I don't think I'm good enough to be your wife." Mu Qiqi buried her face in Sheng Xiao's chest. "I've always taken from you, but I've never done anything for you." Sheng Xiao gently stroked Mu Qiqi's hair and lowered his head to kiss the top of her head. "I don't want anything. I just want your company. Yes, I'll be with you. I won't leave you even if I die." Although he often heard this from the little one's mouth, every time he heard it, his eyes would widen and his chest would surge. The next day in the branch office, everyone had another meeting. At this time, Mu Qiqi told everyone what she had analyzed with Sheng Xiao last night. Of course, Tang Yin wasn't the captain for nothing. In the early hours of the morning, he had contacted Feng Shanshan's friend and obtained the latest entrance to the Dark Abyss. This time all of them were testing it in the internet cafe. They planned to enter the Dark Abyss on credit. Soon Old Ching arrived at the payment page. Other than the fixed bank card payment, there was also an eye-catching option, IOU payment. Old Ching glanced at Tang Yen and entered the IOU payment page. After clicking on it, the system automatically reminded him that he only needed to fill in his real name and detailed information for the first loan. Then Old Ching received a loan of 100,000 yuan. Then he spent it on the Dark Abyss page and quickly gambled away all the loans. In the end, the system continued to prompt him to continue the loan. "Captain Tang, if anything happens, you have to protect me. Continue with the process." Old Ching snorted and continued to enter the loan page. This time, the requirement for the loan was to pay a few points of interest, which was not too much. Old Ching gambled away 100,000 yuan once again. "I understand. The Dark Abyss treats players with money and those without. It's a completely different system. Those who have money to pay and go in to spend won't be in arrears. The page is normal, but those who borrow money to go in are all kinds of traps. Mu Chichi watched from the side and sighed deeply at the terrifying imagination of the founder of the Dark Abyss. Old Cheng's loan had reached 900,000 yuan. I feel that we're getting closer and closer to the truth of those children's suicide. Feng Shanshan suddenly had a premonition. This forum is really crazy. Old Cheng's loan of 900,000 yuan was only the principal. Adding on the interest, it was already a sky-high price. If he continued to borrow money, it was impossible to predict how much debt Old Cheng would have to bear. The few of them thought that this was the discussion of the Dark Abyss. However, they did not expect that after Old Cheng borrowed 3 million yuan, a page suddenly popped up. Debt repayment. Old Cheng glanced at Tang Yen as if waiting for Tang Yen to give the order. Tang Yen nodded and Old Cheng chose the debt repayment button. Then he entered a mission page. There were dozens of options such as house mortgage, car mortgage, and so on. There was also the last button, body repayment. This was what Xing Xiao had mentioned. The so-called selling a kidney or removing a cornea. However, just as Old Cheng was about to choose the last option, the computer suddenly turned black. When he logged in again, the entrance had already changed. What a pity. I'm still missing the last bit. Perhaps the other party has already detected it. This is a test. Tang Yen said to everyone. This also fully shows how powerful the person behind the Dark Abyss is. Chapter 682. Tang Yen immediately reported this matter and asked the cyber police to send another capable assistant to help solve the case. This was tantamount to slapping Officer Gao in the face because Tang Yen had never used this so-called capable person even once. What he needed was someone who could really do practical things. Leave the matter of deciphering the Dark Abyss to the cyber police. What we need to do now is to try our best to track down where the computers of the 8 deceased are hidden. Since we've seen Luo Mingxian at the previous computer repair shop, we've checked the surrounding surveillance cameras. The traffic control department is analyzing it and will give us an answer later. Tang Yen finished a series of arrangements and entered the chief's office to report. After the chief heard the whole case, he was especially shocked. To be honest, my children also love to surf the internet, but I didn't expect these vulnerable groups to be the targets of cyber criminals. It turns out that the danger is so close to these children. Tang Yen, you must find the reason why the children committed suicide as soon as possible. I know, Chief. Perhaps they did not expect Tang Yen and the others to investigate to this extent. The Dark Abyss had already urgently shut down the system and sealed it. And now, Tang Yen did not hope that the mastermind behind the Dark Abyss would be afraid because of this. He was only avoiding the news because he did not think that Tang Yen could catch him. Even if he caught him, those children had committed suicide. He did not need to pay the price for the choices of these children. However, the mastermind was wrong. Tang Yen knew that he did not understand the internet, so he had already entrusted this area to the cyber police to investigate. And what he needed to do now was to find the most crucial physical evidence: the computer. Soon, the traffic control department obtained Luo Mingxuan's tracks from all the nearby intersections. From the surveillance cameras, it was not difficult to see that after he came out of the computer repair shop, he hugged the computer and hurried to the next shop. In fact, Tang Yen and the others had been to that shop before. However, the employee in charge of Luo Mingxian at that time happened to be on vacation, so he missed Tang Yen and the others' inquiries. A few minutes later, Luo Mingxian came out again. However, after taking a few steps, the phone in his pocket rang. After he looked at the caller ID, he immediately knelt on the ground and picked it up. A minute later, he hung up the phone, hugged the computer again, and disappeared from the surveillance range. After that, the child must have walked into the blind spot of the surveillance camera, so there was no surveillance record. Not long after, he committed suicide, the person from the traffic control department explained to Tang Yen. Mu Chichi followed behind Tang Yen and carefully observed the entire process of Luo Mingxian entering and leaving the two shops. He looked flustered and looked around from time to time. It was obvious that he was afraid that someone was following him. When he went to ask the boss of the computer repair shop, he also said that Luo Mingxian was in a hurry that day, and the screen of the computer was dark red and flashing non-stop. Captain Tang, it's obvious that Luo Mingxian received a death warning that day. That's why he was so flustered and scared. Moreover, if it were a normal person, under normal circumstances, they would hide and flee to the ends of the earth. But his reaction was to repair his computer. That computer is a death sentence. Feng Shanshan took a deep breath. Right now we can only simulate the route. From the second repair shop to the crime scene, there are 4 ways to reach it. Now we'll split into 4 groups and look for clues separately. There's no need. Muchichi had been staring at the screen. After listening to Tang Yan's arrangements, she suddenly pointed at the screen and asked everyone, "Look at the computer in Luo Mingxuan's hand." When he came out of the first shop, it had a silver-gray shell, but when he came out of the second shop, it turned silver-white. Everyone took a closer look and indeed they noticed this detail. "Let's go." Tang Yan immediately led everyone to the second computer repair shop. After watching the surveillance footage, the boss of the repair shop immediately called the employee on duty that day. Then the boss brought Tang Yan and the others into their warehouse. My employee said that when Luo Mingxian looked for him that day, he was recycling a broken laptop. After Luo Mingxian left, he put the broken laptop in the warehouse and prepared to go back to the factory for repair. The boss explained as he looked at the serial number on the shelf. In the end he found the computer. Tang Yan and the others looked. Silver gray. Found it. The 2 laptops are similar in color and size. Maybe Luo Mingxian was too impatient, and men are naturally insensitive to color, so it's possible that he took the wrong one, Muchichi analyzed. No matter what, this is all our hope. The boss handed the computer over. Tang Yan and the others finally got the physical evidence. However, because the computer was turned off, they brought it back to the branch office and planned to let the forensics team analyze it. With hope, everyone sat in the branch office and waited for the results. The forensics team turned on the computer and called Tang Yan. "Captain Tang." Tang Yan immediately walked over and saw huge blood-red words appear on the computer screen. "Warning. Your uncle has been locked down by us. Your debt will be paid by your uncle. Warning. Your uncle's daughter has been locked down by us. Soon she will be implicated by you and die a violent death. Warning." Looking at these shocking things, Tang Yan directly told the forensics team, "Immediately crack Luo Mingxuan's computer. I want to know the whole process from the moment Luo Mingxian entered the dark abyss to the moment he endured the threat. Perhaps Luo Mingxian chose to die under such coercion," Feng Shanshan said, feeling a little sorry for him. "Seize a person's weakness and break through their heart. No wonder old Cheng asked him to fill in detailed information when he first went in to get the loan, and even asked for his family and friends. It's too scary." Senior brother Long couldn't help but sigh. "If these things pop up on my computer at any time, even my hair will stand on end. This is too terrifying. Most importantly, I'm afraid of implicating my family." Luo Mingxian was brought up by his uncle. No wonder he was so flustered. Every time there was a murder, everyone would do their best to investigate the truth behind it. However, when they were really close to the truth, they would find it hard to accept. "Captain Tang, we found a special remote control software on Luo Mingxuan's computer. This should be a sub-software belonging to the Dark Abyss. It's different from ordinary remote control software. Using this remote control software, almost everything on Luo Mingxuan's computer has been cleared, so it might be difficult for us to find anything valuable," the forensics team said. "In other words, this computer is useless? Let's try to find the IP of the computer remotely." Chapter 683. Therefore the clues were once again stuck here. As for the cyber police, they were using high-powered criminal investigation methods to locate the main server of the Abyss. If they could shut down this forum as soon as possible, it would undoubtedly be a joyous occasion. However, how could they find the person behind the scenes? Cybercrime was different from other crimes. The methods were special and easy to hide. Perhaps the murderer was the person beside them. I really don't know what kind of suffering these 8 children endured when they were alive. It's true that they wanted to change their fate, but they chose the wrong path. The group of people did not know how to use the internet, so they could only sit in the branch office and wait for the results. I still want to do something for these 8 children, but I don't know where to start. Muchichi leaned on the table and sighed. All right, you've done your best. Feng Shanshan had to admit that Muchichi seemed to have an extra eye than her. She could always see a lot of things that she could not. Muchichi had to admit that it was because of Xing Zhao's influence. Xing Zhao was a meticulous person, and although he did not show it on the surface, he was in fact able to see through people's hearts. Muchichi had indeed learned those qualities from Xing Zhao, and only then could she truly be said to have been taught by Xing Zhao himself. At this point, Muchichi suddenly thought of something. Captain Tang, I think we need to interrogate someone. Tang Yen leaned against the edge of the table, looking very deep. When he heard Muchichi's words, he turned to look at her. Go ahead. When senior brother Long and I went to Zhongting to visit, we talked to Luo Mingxuan's boss, a man with the surname Lin. You know that I suspected him. He told us that he and Luo Mingxian went to work together and got off work at the same time and had a good relationship. If Luo Mingxian was really abnormal, how could he not notice it? You also noticed that when Luo Mingxian was threatened he was very panicked. As his boss, how could Mr. Lin not notice it? I still feel that this Mr. Lin is hiding something. After Tang Yin heard this, he nodded. I understand what you're saying. Xiaolong, go and summon this man. I'll go and ask the chief. Don't you need to wait for the approval first? You go first. I'll call you on the way, Tang Yin said. Officer Long nodded and promised Tang Yin, I'll definitely handle this matter well. Wait, I'll go with you. I'll call Xiao Xiao first and ask him to make the arrangements. That's good too. Tang Yin nodded and acquiesced to their actions. Then Mu Qiqi and Officer Long walked out of the police station. After getting into the car, Mu Qiqi called Xing Xiao. However, Xing Xiao's reply made her frown. He's in the hospital. He injured his hand due to improper mechanical operation. What a coincidence. That was all Mu Qiqi could think of. Besides, Xiao Xiao, are you investigating him? Otherwise, with Xing Xiao's personality, he wouldn't understand a man who wasn't even worth a second glance. So far, I haven't found anything suspicious. However, the police will still summon those who should be summoned and interrogate those who should be interrogated. Which hospital is he in? Dikang. Mu Qiqi received the news and gave a simple report to Tang Yin. After Tang Yin heard that, he also wanted to meet this so-called Mr. Lin personally. Shan Shan and I will come over right away. In Zhongting's office, after Xing Xiao hung up the phone, he fell into deep thought. Then he dialed the internal line and called Su Che in. Take advantage of this time to do something. President, please give me your orders. Hold Lin Yuquan's wife back and pick up Lin Yuquan's daughter. The adults don't speak the truth but the child does. If there's no way to avoid Lin Yuquan's wife, bring both mother and daughter here. I understand. I'll definitely ensure the child's safety. Soon, Tang Yin and the others arrived at Dikang Hospital. Lin Yuquan was lying on the hospital bed with a pale face because he had injured his hand. He didn't seem to expect the police to come looking for him again, but his attitude was still very cooperative. Officers, are you here for Mingxuan's matter again? Lin Yuquan pointed at his right hand and said, It's a pity that I injured my hand and can't sit up. Please forgive me. It's fine. Captain Tang from our branch's major crimes unit wants to have a chat with you. You don't need to spend much energy. Just lie down, Mu Qiqi said to Lin Yuquan. That child Luo Mingxian should really want to get rich, right? It's indeed not easy for this child. He wants to leave his original family and repay his uncle, so he works very hard. He always eats the simplest instant noodles and wears the cheapest clothes. Even his underwear is a small size that I bought for him, Lin Yuquan recalled. Although it's only been 3 months, I feel that he's like my younger brother. Didn't he show any abnormalities before the incident? I really don't know about that. I go home on time every day and pick up my daughter on time, so I really didn't pay attention to his psychological condition. If I knew that he would commit suicide, I would definitely try my best to stop him, Lin Yuquan answered Tang Yin regretfully. He's really a good child. It's been so long. Haven't you seen him playing something on the computer even once? I really don't know, officer. I'm someone who rarely touches the internet, so I don't really understand. Lies. At that moment, only these 2 words appeared in Mu Qiqi's heart. Lin Yuquan's right hand was injured. Judging from the injury, it should be his palm. What? Wasn't it to cover up his mouse hand? You've been doing technical work for some years, haven't you? It's just to make a living. After all, I have to support my family. At this point, Lin Yuquan smiled at everyone. Speaking of which, it's time for my wife to pick up my daughter. My daughter is in cram school. I'll make a call. Go ahead. Lin Yuquan picked up the phone with his left hand and dialed his wife's number. In front of a group of police officers, he did not hide anything. Have you picked up Xinxin and brought her home? She'll be there soon. She worked overtime at the company. Hurry up and go. Don't let Xinxin wait. Lin Yuquan's expression was a little flustered and impatient because he did not pick up his daughter. This was something that everyone in the police force could see. He never would have thought that Lin Yuquan's daughter and wife had already been picked up by Su Che. This was very easy. As long as Xing Xiao said that he would discuss the compensation with his family, his wife would go to Zhongting to meet Xing Xiao no matter what. After all, Xing Xiao's reputation was there. Lin Yuquan's wife also believed in Zhongting. Chapter 684. After Lin Yuquan's wife arrived at Zhongting, she first talked to the HR department of Zhongting and expressed her demands. Then it was Xing Zhao's secretary who took care of her and conveyed her love to the child. Although Xing Zhao was very reluctant to use such formulaic methods on a mother and daughter, such a well-intentioned lie seemed very important in the face of 8 lives. In the end, Xing Zhao had his secretary invite the mother and daughter to the CEO's office, and deliberately put a computer on the coffee table. Lin Yuquan's wife was very nervous when she saw Xing Zhao. She had never thought that a small fry like her would meet a big shot one day. Moreover, he was such a young and promising big shot. Xing Zhao got up from his chair, strolled to the sofa and sat down. "Madam Lin, don't be nervous. I just want to know if Mr. Lin can continue working in his current condition." Xing Zhao did not plan to mention Luo Mingxian because it would arouse the woman's suspicion. Everything he was doing now was to relax Lin Yuquan's wife's wariness. Yu Kuan's injuries are quite serious right now. I don't know if he can continue working, Lin Yuquan's wife said. However, seeing that Xing Zhao's expression had darkened, she quickly explained, "Xiao Xing, I didn't mean that. Zhongting has already treated our small family very well. I just feel that the pillar of the family has collapsed and I'm a little sad. The company is a place that pays attention to the system, but it also has its own warmth. If you have any needs, you can tell me. The company has done enough for us. We're really satisfied." Just as Lin Yuquan's wife was answering the question, Lin Yuquan's daughter walked over to the computer and started playing. When Lin Yuquan's wife saw this, she immediately stopped him. "Didn't I teach you not to touch other people's things? Then I'll go home and play on Daddy's computer," Lin Yuquan's daughter pouted. "Chief Sheng, please excuse me. The child is not sensible. Your daughter is very cute, but it doesn't seem good for her to come into contact with the internet at such a young age. His father is at home and has to sleep for a while from time to time, so the child was infected," Lin Yuquan's wife explained. "Of course not. Daddy played all night. I saw him go to the bathroom a few times." "You're lying." When Lin Yuquan's wife heard this, she immediately covered her daughter's mouth. "Child, what nonsense are you talking about? You're wrong. Mrs. Lin, you don't have to be so nervous. I'm not a policeman investigating a case." Hearing the word, police, Lin Yuquan's wife's heart immediately broke down. Perhaps she was afraid that her daughter would say more things about Lin Yuquan that no one knew about, so she stood up with a flustered expression while carrying the child. "Xiao Sheng, I think that since the matter has been settled, I won't continue to disturb you. Thank you for everything Zhongting has done for us. Are you taking your daughter to the hospital now? I'll send someone to escort you." Xing Zhao's expression was still calm, as if what was happening outside had nothing to do with him. He was a professional person in charge of a military enterprise. Lin Yuquan did not dare to look Xing Zhao in the eye at all. He rejected Xing Zhao's kindness. "Thank you, Xiao Xing, but I drove my own car here. I won't trouble you." With that, Lin Yuquan's wife rushed out the door with her daughter. Xing Zhao curled his lips when he saw this. In the dark night he looked like a ruler. So he said to Su Che, "Let's go and watch the show now. Xiao, bring me along too." The secretary was extremely curious. "You sit in the front passenger seat," Xing Zhao said coldly. What a joke. Only the little one could sit in the seat next to him. The secretary was also tactful and nodded non-stop. "Don't worry, Xiao. Even if you didn't say anything, I would have opened the front passenger door." Su Che drove and quickly caught up with Lin Yuquan's wife. At that moment, the secretary also realized that Lin Yuquan's wife was not heading in the direction of the hospital at all. "Where is she going?" "Home," Xing Zhao said firmly. Just now Lin Yuquan's daughter had said that her father had been playing on the computer all night. In order to clear his name, Lin Yuquan had deliberately hurt his hand. Now that her daughter had revealed such a big secret about her father, Lin Yuquan's wife would naturally be nervous. She was afraid that the police would find out and search the Lin family's house. Because Xing Zhao had deliberately emphasized the word, police, just now. Since Lin Yuquan's wife was feeling guilty, it meant that Lin Yuquan's house was indeed hiding something that the police were interested in. "CO, you can totally become a criminal police officer." Xing Zhao deliberately raised his voice, which made the secretary tactfully shut her mouth. He was intervening now because of that hateful little one. Become a criminal police officer? This kind of thing was suitable for a boxing champion like Tang Yen to run errands. Soon, the car of the three of them followed Lin Yuquan's wife to the entrance of the neighborhood. Xing Zhao had no intention of forcing his way in. He only gave Su Che a look. "Follow them." Since Lin Yuquan's wife was afraid of being investigated, she would definitely think of a way to take the evidence out and destroy it. Therefore, Su Che did not need to break into a private house. He only needed to wait quietly outside. On the other side, Tang Yen and the others were still in Lin Yuquan's ward. However, logically speaking, after his wife picked up her daughter, she should have already arrived at the hospital. However, there was still no movement. Lin Yuquan looked very worried. He really wanted to take out his phone and call his wife, but he was afraid that Tang Yen and the others were still in the ward. He really wanted to find an excuse to let Tang Yen and the others leave, but that would make him even more suspicious. However, because he seemed to be extremely anxious, Tang Yen and the others deliberately stayed in the ward to chat with him. "Mr. Lin, you look very hot. Are you not feeling well? Do you want me to call a nurse in?" "No need. I'm just very tired. I just don't know if you're done questioning, officer. I want to rest." "All right then. If there's anything new, we'll look for you again." Tang Yen gestured to everyone, and they immediately got up from the sofa in the ward. "Then I won't send you off anymore." Lin Yuquan was relieved. He had finally waited until the police left. After Tang Yen and the others left, Lin Yuquan took out his phone and called his wife. "Where are you now?" "I'm at home." Lin Yuquan's wife told Lin Yuquan what had happened in Zhongting. After Lin Yuquan heard this, he almost went crazy. Chapter 685. "I got it. I'm working on it." Lin Yuquan's wife said in a fluster, "Yuquan, hurry up and go home. Our family of 3 will immediately go abroad to seek refuge. The money you earned online is enough for our family of 3 to spend for the rest of our lives. When the police relax, we'll leave immediately," Lin Yuquan promised. But could he still leave? Special Assistant Su was quietly guarding Lin Yuquan's door. Soon Lin Yuquan's wife packed a big bag of things. After comforting her daughter, she took advantage of the night to carry the things to the underground parking lot and went straight to the beach. Su Che drove behind her without batting an eyelid. He watched as she carried the black cloth bag to the beach and stuffed a lot of stones into the bag. It seemed that she did have some brains. She actually knew that she was afraid that the bag would float to the surface of the water. Seeing this opportunity, Xing Xiao gestured for Su Che to get out of the car and reel in the net. Su Che received the order and rushed forward. He stopped the black bag in front of Lin Yuquan's wife. When Lin Yuquan's wife saw this, she screamed in fear. "What are you doing?" Su Che carried the bag and walked in front of Xing Xiao. Only then did Lin Yuquan's wife notice Xing Xiao under the tree. "Xiao Xing? Shouldn't Mrs. Lin be accompanying your husband in the hospital so late at night?" Lin Yuquan's wife suddenly panicked, especially when she saw that the bag was in Xing Xiao's hands. "Please return the bag to me. Please, Xiao Xing, this is very important to me. Xiao Xing, please. You shouldn't be begging me, but them." After Xing Xiao said this, he pointed at the other 2 off-road vehicles that were rushing over. When Lin Yuquan's wife saw this, her face turned pale. She subconsciously wanted to run away, but Su Che grabbed her wrist and subdued her. Tang Yen brought Mu Qiqi and the others out of the car and walked to Xing Xiao. Under the faint light, Xing Xiao sat in the back of the car in a brown coat. One of his slender legs stepped on the stone outside the car. At that moment, everyone looked at him and felt that he was as tall as a giant. On the other hand, they were surprised that a domineering CEO like him had such powerful investigative abilities. "The things you want are in the trunk." Tang Yen asked Officer Long to go forward to confirm and found that the black bag was filled with computers or equipment. The police almost searched the entire Jianchuan to find the computers of the 8 victims. They did not expect these computers to be hidden in the murderer's home. When Lin Yuquan's wife saw this, she could only close her eyes in despair. "Take the people and the things away," Tang Yen ordered. The people and the things were all kept in his bag. Then Tang Yen walked up to Xing Xiao and extended his hand. "Thank you for taking care of me again, Xiao Xing." Xing Xiao looked at Tang Yan's outstretched right hand and smiled faintly. "Captain Tang, you know why I'm helping you." Then, "It all thanks to Qiqi. I'll leave the rest to Captain Tang. I hope that when the truth comes to light I'll let you know. After all, Zhongting is a sanctuary. I have to get the public relations department busy." Xiao T up. Comma, up. Xiao up, up. Of course, I will to the company. Of the company of Yuf the same. Of the company. Everyone retreated and Mu Qiqi got into her car. Only then did Officer Long dare to sigh. "Isn't this Xiao Xing too amazing?" At this time, Officer Long finally dared to sigh. "Isn't this Xiao Xing too amazing? Why do you think that idiot Mu Qiqi is so obsessed with a man?" Feng Shanshan snorted and pointed at her head. "Because he has a terrifying brain." "Why do you think that idiot Mu Qiqi is so infatuated with a man?" The scene of Captain Tang and Xiao Xing together just now was so shocking. A powerful man indeed has an amazing magnetic field. Feng Shanshan could not deny this. Sheng Xiao was used to being strong, so Feng Shanshan did not find it strange at all. What surprised her was that when Tang Yan and Sheng Xiao stood together, they actually gave off an oppressive feeling that they were evenly matched. In the night, 3 cars sped back to the police station. Su Che drove behind the 2 police cars. Sheng Xiao's secretary sat beside him, not daring to move. "Quick, tell me about how you solved the case. I'm dying of curiosity." Sheng Xiao hugged the woman who was jumping up and down and pressed her hands down. "You'll know when we get to the police station. Is there anything you can't do?" Mu Qiqi almost knelt down and offered her knees to Sheng Xiao. This man was indeed invincible in everything he did. Sheng Xiao reached out and plucked the leaf that had fallen into Mu Qiqi's hat. His expression was very calm. "I can't give birth. Even if you can, I can't bear to. It'll damage your wise and divine image." This thing did not know how painful it was to give birth. Speaking of this topic, Sheng Xiao really wanted to invent and research a device that could allow the husband to bear the pain when a woman gave birth. Soon, the 3 cars arrived at the Jianchuan branch office. At that moment, Lin Yuquan's wife was escorted out of the police car in a sorry state. "Officer, please help me take care of my daughter. My daughter is alone at home." "Xiaolong, go pick up her daughter." "Don't alarm Lin Yuquan for now," Tang Yan instructed. Lin Yuquan's wife was most worried that her daughter was now taken care of. She finally felt a little comforted. Immediately after, Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi pushed the door open and got out of the car. "Please see Oshing." Tang Yan arranged for old Qing to take Sheng Xiao's statement, while he directly brought the black bag to the technical team. "Analyze these things." Then he entered the interrogation room. At that moment, Lin Yuquan's wife had already been handcuffed. Her expression was very anxious, as if she still wanted to struggle. However, Tang Yan directly placed the photos of the 8 dead people in front of her. "I know you're still brewing. It's okay. I'll wait for you to speak." "Officer, I want to see my daughter." "These 8 people also want to see their relatives. Who should they look for?" Tang Yan tapped his fingers on the table and asked Lin Yuquan's wife. "They committed suicide. It has nothing to do with us, really. It looks like you're not ready to explain." I said it's okay. I can wait for you. But I hope that when you speak again you'll explain the details of the crime. Otherwise, how will you have the face to see your daughter? 8 people in their prime lost their lives because of your trashy scam website. You even deprived them of their last dignity and put them on the internet for people to watch. Are 8 lives that light to you? Lin Yuquan's wife burst into tears. "We didn't want to kill them. That was their own choice." Chapter 686. I want to see Lin Yuquan. Otherwise, I won't say anything. Up to you. After Tang Yan said that, he walked out of the interrogation room. This was because he knew very well that Lin Yuquan and his wife had no humanity at all to be able to look down on 8 lives. They were just demons who ate human corpses and bones. This kind of person was usually cruel and antisocial. Moreover, their psychological quality was extremely strong. They could constantly deal with you. Is she not willing to say anything? Feng Shanshan saw Tang Yan come out and quickly went up to ask. "I'll go to the technical department first and see what they've researched." Tang Yan's expression was a little cold. Feng Shanshan knew that he was in a bad mood, so she nodded. "Go ahead." Looking at Lin Yuquan's wife's appearance, she was really delicate and graceful. No one would have expected such a person to be one of the suspects in the crime of fraud. Soon, Officer Long brought Lin Yuquan's daughter to the police station. When Lin Yuquan's wife saw this, she immediately burst into tears. Even so, she gritted her teeth and refused to say a word. Murder? Fraud? Cybercrime? None of this had anything to do with her. She seemed to be an innocent woman. She had been brought here by the vicious police and endured inhumane torture. She had even been separated from her daughter. At this moment she must be thinking like this. Xin, if you refuse to confess, you won't be able to hug your daughter. The interrogating police officer said. I'm innocent. You police officers arrested me randomly. Those 8 children committed suicide on their own. What does it have to do with me? I want to see my daughter. Let go of me. If it weren't for my current identity, I would really want to slap her and hit her against the wall. I can't even buckle her down. Feng Shanshan almost went crazy with anger when she saw this. There's no need. After being arrested, criminals always have to act shamelessly. They have to pretend to be innocent, put on an act, and pretend to be pitiful. Aren't these all their tricks? Mu Qiqi crossed her arms and said, Don't worry. The dead really can speak. Look, the evidence that Lin Yuquan's wife wants to destroy is the best last words left behind by the dead. How did your man find all this evidence? I want to know too. Mu Qiqi shrugged. At the moment, Sheng Xiao was taking his statement in the break room of the police station. To tell the truth, the police felt that they had never entertained such a noble man. But very quickly he explained the cause of the matter and gave the police what they wanted to know the most. After old Cheng heard this, he could not help but sigh. Xiao Xing, it's really a waste that you're not a criminal police officer. When my business can't continue, I can consider giving it a try. Xiao Xing, are you kidding me? Old Cheng scratched his head in a daze. Everyone knows that you're a business genius. Are you done recording? It's over. It's over. Xiao Xing, you can leave now. Old Cheng quickly got up and walked Sheng Xiao to the entrance of the police station. At that moment, Mu Qiqi came up to him and kissed him on the cheek. I still have a while. Do you want to go home first? I'm reading some documents in the car. Why don't you watch it in the lounge? The lights in the car are so dim and it hurts your eyes. After Mu Qiqi said that, she leaned closer to Sheng Xiao and continued, I can see that once you made your move, a large number of your fans immediately appeared in the police station. They really want to get close to their idol. What about you? Are you kidding me? Of course I'm completely devoted to you. Mu Qiqi blinked at Sheng Xiao. Wait for me, Sheng Xiao shook his head helplessly. In the end, he could only ask Su Che to take out all the documents while he sat in the lounge of the police station. Today he could be considered open and above board. At that moment, the technical department was repairing the broken computers. However, the results were not that fast. Captain Tang, it might take a night to recover here. Tomorrow morning, the people from the technical department will submit a report to you. Tang Yen nodded and patted his subordinate on the shoulder. Thank you for your hard work. It's not hard at all. We also want to catch this brutal murderer. After Tang Yen finished walking through the technical department, he went to the chief's office to apply for a search warrant. He wanted to conduct a thorough search of Lin Yuquan's home. However, the technical department did not have any concrete evidence, so the chief did not agree. When you get the report from the technical department tomorrow morning, you can come back and mention it to me. Chief, we can apply for a search warrant tomorrow, but Lin Yuquan must be summoned immediately because he will soon realize that his wife and daughter are at the police station. If he runs away at that time, it will be difficult to chase after him. After the chief heard this, he nodded. You can bring him back for interrogation, but if the technical department doesn't have any concrete evidence, release him immediately when the time is up. Understood. Cybercrime was different from other crimes. Finding the murder weapon and finding the fingerprints might be enough to convict a murderer. But cybercriminals were cunning and full of tricks. Moreover, they often had unique skills. Your thinking speed couldn't keep up with their hand speed. Then Tang Yen walked out of the chief's office and arranged for his subordinates to bring Lin Yuquan to the hospital for questioning. Of course, he also saw Sheng Xiao sitting in the lounge. So he walked over. Xiao Sheng, have you finished your statement? I'm waiting here for the little one at home, Sheng Xiao replied. I heard that the interrogation has encountered a problem. That's right. Although we've obtained the deceased computer and the people in the bureau have verified it, before we find any concrete evidence of the relationship between Lin Yuquan and the Dark Abyss, even if we bring him back for questioning, he can only be released when the time is up. I believe in your technical department, Sheng Xiao said calmly. In that case, Xiao Sheng can bring Mu Qi home. After saying this, Tang Yen returned to the interrogation room. Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan both looked at the interrogation room. It turned out that when people were shameless, they could overturn their own confessions time and time again. They could frame others and they could act shamelessly in all kinds of ways. I really don't know how her daughter will feel when she learns that her mother is such a person. Today's interrogation definitely won't end easily. You should go back, Tang Yen said as he walked to Mu Qiqi's side. Mu Qiqi looked at Lin Yuquan's wife and nodded. Remember to contact me if there's any progress. Okay, Feng Shanshan promised her. Mu Qiqi quickly walked to Sheng Xiao and the two of them quickly disappeared from the branch office. At that moment, old Qing ran over and said to Tang Yen, Is this Xiao Xing really not a god? How does he know more about criminal psychology than the police? How did he force Lin Yuquan's wife to lose her patience? Comfort, inducement, psychological suggestion. Through these methods, he successfully planted a shadow of fear in Lin Yuquan's wife's heart. With a few words, he managed to get important information from Lin Yuquan's daughter. He can practically read minds. Chapter 687. After the two of them left, While waiting for Lin Yuquan, Tang Yin walked to Lin Yuquan's daughter's side. He looked at the little girl standing helplessly on the stool and waiting. This was also a breakthrough. Realizing this problem, Feng Shanshan quickly stood in front of Tang Yin and said only 2 words, "Let me do it." Tang Yin was stunned for a second and nodded. "Don't scare her. I'm a girl." Hearing Feng Shanshan's words, Tang Yin finally couldn't help but smile because he had to tell the truth. After he got busy, all the women in the bureau were used as men, and the men were used as beasts. How could they remember that she was a girl? Feng Shanshan glared at Tang Yin and pushed him back. Then, she stood in front of Lin Xinxin and said to her, "Little friend, are you worried about mommy?" Lin Xinxin rubbed her eyes. She looked very sleepy but she still nodded. "I want mommy. Mommy is talking to the police inside. She'll be out soon. Can I hug you to sleep? Can I see mommy when I wake up?" Lin Xinxin asked in the direction of the interrogation room. She still didn't know what that place was used for. "Then tell me first, does Daddy really like to play on the computer at home?" Lin Xinxin was absent-minded because children couldn't concentrate. Then she answered Feng Shanshan's question. "Yes, Daddy will play on the computer for a long time after I sleep. What about Mommy? Is there anything strange about her?" Lin Xinxin thought about it carefully. "Mommy always coaxes me to sleep and then goes out to play by herself. Do you know what she plays? Buying a computer. I have a lot of computers at home," Lin Xinxin answered innocently. Feng Shanshan got the answer and looked up at Tang Yin. It seems that Lin Yuquan's wife took away the computers of the 8 deceased. "Be good, Xinxin. Can you go home with me to sleep? I also have a computer at home and a lot of delicious candy. Your mother will stay here for a while. She asked me to take good care of you. Can you come home with me?" Lin Xinxin glanced at the interrogation room and then at Feng Shanshan. Finally she nodded. "Xinxin is sleepy. Xinxin wants to sleep." Feng Shanshan hugged Lin Xinxin and said to Tang Yin, "I'll take her home. You work hard here." Tang Yin nodded. "I'll send someone to send you. I'm worried about you driving alone." Feng Shanshan did not refuse. Instead, she held Lin Xinxin and waited on the chair. However, just as Tang Yin was about to ask someone to send Feng Shanshan home, he suddenly received a call from his subordinate. Lin Yuquan had escaped. "Don't go home yet. Take Lin Xinxin to sleep in the lounge. Lin Yuquan has escaped." Feng Shanshan understood Tang Yan's thoughts. After all, if she left now, it would be easy for Lin Yuquan to target her. It was very likely that he wanted to snatch his daughter away. Therefore she carried Lin Xinxin to the lounge. Then Tang Yin went to Old Cheng. Immediately put Lin Yuquan in the wanted list. I don't believe that a person with such a high sense of investigation doesn't have a criminal record. Okay, Captain Tang. After Tang Yin gave the order, he went straight to the chief's office and applied to arrest Lin Yuquan. The chief immediately gave his instructions, so Tang Yin immediately led his men to take action again. Feng Shanshan coaxed Lin Xinxin out of sleep. When she saw that Tang Yin was about to leave again, she tugged at the corner of his shirt and said, "I'll go too." "You don't have to go. Stay here and watch Lin Xinxin." "Tang Yin, be good." Tang Yin had only used this word on her before. This meant that the two of them were close. Thinking that she didn't know anything and might be a burden if she went out, she finally nodded. "Then you guys be careful." Tang Yin silently patted her head and led the team off. Jianchuan tonight was destined to be extraordinary. Late at night, Banyan Courtyard. After Mu Chichi took a shower, she had already laid down and fallen asleep. However, Su Che called Xing Xiao. Lin Yuquan had escaped. Xing Xiao glanced at the little thing and went to the study. He instructed Su Che to immediately head to Zhongting and bring some people to secretly guard Zhongting because Lin Yuquan had nowhere else to go. He might sneak into Zhongting to hide for the night. The police would be the first to suspect Zhongting, but they would also think that Lin Yuquan would not be so stupid. However, the most dangerous place was also the safest place. In the branch office, Lin Yuquan's wife refused to let go. She insisted that the family of 3 had nothing to do with the dark abyss. When the police asked where the computer came from, Lin Yuquan's wife calmly said that she had picked it up. Feng Shanshan really couldn't stand it anymore. She went to the bureau chief and asked him to let her try interrogating Lin Yuquan's wife. The bureau chief had been up all night and was very tired. He nodded. "Let's give it a try and see if Tang Yan's judgment is right." Hearing this, Feng Shanshan felt a lot of pressure. However, she still entered the interrogation room and sat in front of Lin Yuquan's wife. Lin Yuquan escaped. A sneer suddenly flashed across Lin Yuquan's wife's face. "Don't laugh. Just because he escaped doesn't mean you're safe. Coincidentally, he escaped, which means that he's tacitly admitted his crime. As the #1 suspect in the suicide case, he's wanted. Lin Yuquan's wife lowered her head again and didn't want to speak. Your daughter told me that you were the one who retrieved the computers of the 8 victims. How did you get them back? I don't know what you're talking about. Feng Shanshan raised her hand and looked at her wristwatch. There are still 5 hours before dawn. The people from the technical department have already repaired 2 computers. If you don't speak now, you'll completely lose the chance to fight for a reduced sentence. This has nothing to do with me. Those 8 children committed suicide. You have no right to convict me. As a woman, you should have noticed that Luo Mingshen took the wrong computer, right? You definitely didn't dare to tell Lin Yuquan about this. Feng Shanshan relaxed her posture and stared at Lin Yuquan's wife. Before Luo Mingshen died, he found someone to repair the computer. However, because he was threatened by you, he panicked and took the wrong computer. Even so what? You don't have any evidence. That's right. When the computer was brought back, it had already been remotely cleared. However, unfortunately, the police found an encrypted folder in Luo Mingshuan's computer. Lin Yuquan's wife's expression began to change subtly. You're lying. Believe it or not, I'm guessing that the next 7 computers have all been handled in the same way. But since they've been handled, why did you rush to destroy them? I've been thinking about this. Chapter 688. Alright, let's not talk about what you're panicking about for now. However, Lin Yuquan has obviously abandoned you. Lin Yuquan's wife seemed to disagree with this. She believed that as long as Lin Yuquan wasn't arrested, the police wouldn't be able to convict her. You definitely don't think so, but I still have to tell you some unfortunate news. Have you forgotten that the black bag you destroyed included your husband's computer? Lin Yuquan's wife's forehead started to sweat. Feng Shanshan carefully observed Lin Yuquan's wife. Actually, Lin Yuquan's computer wasn't in the black bag, but it was obvious that Lin Yuquan's wife had obsessive-compulsive disorder. When she heard Feng Shanshan mention it, she didn't quite remember if she had also taken Lin Yuquan's computer, so she started to panic. Although it's a little difficult, the police are trying their best to decipher it. Lin Yuquan knows that the computer is in the hands of the police, and the evidence is in the hands of the police. Do you think he will still care about you? If we can't find Lin Yuquan, then we can only sue you first. I'm just having a headache. If we send you to prison, which orphanage should we send your daughter to? Feng Shanshan's words were like a sharp knife that stabbed into Lin Yuquan's wife's heart. Think about it carefully. If you confess, I can still apply for leniency for you. If you insist on doing things your own way, then hold on. Anyway, even without your confession, we can still find Lin Yuquan. After saying that, Feng Shanshan pretended to get up and deliberately put on an act with her senior at the entrance of the interrogation room. Shanshan, Captain Tang asked you to watch Lin Xinxin. What are you doing here? Her parents don't care about her. Why should we care? She's hungry, that's none of my business. It's not my responsibility to take care of her. Let her starve. Soon, the sound of a child crying came from the entrance of the interrogation room. Those cries were sharp and made people break down. This almost made Lin Yuquan's wife go crazy. You're even bullying a child. Do you police have any hearts? The police only care about investigating cases. How can they have hearts? The crying continued. Lin Yuquan's wife's psychological defenses were also collapsing. She was indeed cunning, but her only love was for her daughter. It was precisely because of this that Feng Shanshan could find her weakness. On the other side, Tang Yin was chasing after Lin Yuquan. After leaving the hospital, Lin Yuquan had disappeared. Moreover, he had deliberately avoided the surveillance cameras. One could imagine how strong his anti-surveillance awareness was. He did want to hide in Zhongting for a night, but it was a risky decision because he knew how smart Xing Xiao was. Would Xing Xiao let him off after causing such a huge ruckus in Zhongting? Therefore, he directly took a taxi to the mountainous area with complicated terrain. The driver had originally complained that he did not want to go to such a remote place in the middle of the night. However, Lin Yuquan had a weapon in his hands, which was equivalent to threatening the driver. Halfway through, he received a call from Old Cheng. Captain Tang, Lin Yuquan has another identity. His name is Leng Wenjie. He served 2 years in prison for endangering network security. After his release, he used this identity to do business in H City. He has a lot of unknown income under his name. Follow the clues and continue to investigate. Therefore, Lin Yuquan used this identity to establish the Dark Abyss and used another identity to secretly launder money. Get someone to interrogate Lin Yuquan's wife. She has to confess even if she doesn't want to. This was probably the legendary saying that a cunning rabbit has 3 burrows. When Lin Yuquan's wife heard the news and knew that the police had even found out about Lung Wenjia, she also knew that there was no need to persist. Most importantly, she had been tortured by the child's crying for an entire hour. I was the one who took the computers of the 8 victims. That's right. Yuquan used remote control to hack into their computers and used viruses to continuously coerce the 8 people to use their lives to pay off the debt. That's because some perverts abroad like to watch this live broadcast. Feng Shanshan and another police officer sat among them and listened to Lin Yuquan's wife's desperate words. They couldn't stand the coercion and agreed to commit suicide. They also went to the agreed place, put down the computer, and then went to the assembly point to commit suicide. We provided the method of suicide for them to choose. We chose the assembly point a few days in advance. Usually we chose a rented house. We also installed pinhole cameras inside. After the live broadcast, we emptied the camera's storage. All of this was achieved by Yuquan through remote technology. I really didn't expect the police to be so serious. It was clearly a suicide. I also didn't expect the police to lock onto my husband so quickly. I thought that even if the dark abyss was discovered, we could just shut it down. After all, it's difficult to obtain evidence on the internet. That's why I said that the police are really resourceful. You husband and wife are indeed very difficult to deal with. However, your husband hid in the wrong place and dared to go to Zhongting. Feng Shanshan sneered. I want to know now if your husband deliberately lured Luo Mingxian into the dark abyss to gamble. He's a good target, isn't he? Then let me tell you. If your husband hadn't lured Luo Mingxian, perhaps you wouldn't have been discovered so quickly. Feng Shanshan told her the truth. Those 2 people from Zhongting aren't that easy to deceive. Feng Shanshan pointed at Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi. Your daughter is still so young. If she knew that her parents were actually murderous villains, I don't know how she would face you in life in the future, Feng Shanshan said sternly. Have you ever felt guilty? It lives. Aren't we used to it? Lin Yuquan's wife laughed self-deprecatingly. If it weren't for their greed, they wouldn't have been tempted by us. Other people's greed is not a reason for you to despise other people's lives. If one day your daughter is treated like this, how would you feel? Wei Ling, your death is not to be regretted. Really, I just pity your daughter. The interrogation of Lin Yuquan's wife went very smoothly. She had already explained everything that needed to be said. The chief immediately gave important instructions and issued a wanted order until Lin Yuquan was arrested. Tang Yen had not slept for a day and night. Other than tracking down Lin Yuquan's information, he also went to Lin Yuquan's home to search. This time he really found Lin Yuquan's computer. Now he had all the evidence he wanted. Feng Shanshan told Tang Yen to rest. After all, his health was also very important. However, at this moment they also saw the image of Officer Gao leaving in a car. I really didn't expect that cybercrime would have to rely on people like you who don't understand the internet to run to the truth. Chapter 689. Tang Yen, although I don't want to admit it, you're still so charming. If you get tired of this little girl one day, my arms will be waiting for you. This was the last provocation from Officer Gao. I told you I like young ones. With that, Tang Yen turned around and went to the lounge. You'll grow old too, Officer Gao said to Feng Shanshan. What should I do? I asked him the same question, but he told me that when I'm old, he'll already be an old man and I'll still be his girl. Officer Gao snorted coldly and drove away. Although she was very unwilling, a loss was a loss. She came with her head held high and left with her tail between her legs. It really made people feel dejected and depressed. In one night, the case progressed at lightning speed. When Mu Qiqi arrived at the branch office, all her questions had been answered. Now all that was left was to hunt down Lin Yuquan. Wei Ling has already explained the place where the computer was collected and other details. Now we're just waiting to arrest Lin Yuquan. I feel like I've slept for a whole night and missed a lot of things. Mu Qiqi felt that it was a pity. What's there to feel pity about? You noticed Lin Yuquan and your CEO discovered Wei Ling. You guys provided the key to solving the case. Didn't you also successfully pry Wei Ling's mouth open? Mu Qiqi laughed. I think after you followed Tang Yen, you've really loved your family and your country. You've turned over a new leaf. Get lost. Luo Mingxuan's uncle has rushed over from another place. He's in the autopsy room now. Do you want to take a look? Mu Qiqi nodded and went to the autopsy room with Feng Shanshan. Luo Mingxuan's uncle was dressed in clean and tidy clothes with a leather bag on his shoulder. He wore a pair of black-rimmed glasses and looked like an honest businessman. When he saw his nephew, whom he had doted on for a long time, he couldn't help but feel sad. This child left just like that. How am I going to explain it to his aunt? Mu Qiqi didn't dare to go in. She stood outside the door with Feng Shanshan. Anyone would feel sad to see such a scene. Luo Mingxian was led into hell by Lin Yuquan. Luo Mingxian should have had a beautiful life, but he was too close to the devil. He wasn't Lin Yuquan's target. I should let Lin Yuquan have a taste of being forced to commit suicide. After Mu Qiqi said that, she mustered up her courage and entered the autopsy room. Soon, Tang Yin received news that a body was found in the mountains near Jianshuan. It belonged to a taxi driver from a company. After the police's investigation, they discovered that the suspect, Lin Yuquan, had hijacked a car and escaped. He had even killed the driver to silence him. After carefully studying Lin Yuquan's escape route, Tang Yin decided to send the police to catch him. He had almost mobilized the entire police force in the branch. However, halfway there, Tang Yin suddenly heard something. The taxi driver's body was thrown on the side of the road without any concealment. This meant that Lin Yuquan was in a hurry when he escaped. However, this was not in line with Lin Yuquan's personality. He had left such an obvious mark. So, before entering the mountain area, Tang Yin suddenly said to Xiaolong, "As the vice captain, you lead the team to continue the chase. I'll turn around and return to the police station." "Captain Tang? I suspect that Lin Yuquan wants to take away the strength of the police force and then attack the branch office. Otherwise, he wouldn't have caused such a big commotion and left behind such important clues." After they left, there were not many elite backbones left in the branch office. If Lin Yuquan really thought of a way to sneak in, the consequences would be unimaginable. "Okay, I'll listen to Captain Tang's orders." Tang Yin turned around and immediately returned to the branch office. At that moment, the express delivery belonging to the branch office arrived at the entrance. "This is Captain Tang's package. Someone come and sign for it." When Feng Shanshan heard that it was her man's, she was puzzled because Tang Yin never bought anything online. So she walked over and asked the courier, "Where did this come from?" "I don't know either. A customer asked me to deliver it." The courier was also very innocent. "Anyway, hurry up and sign for it. I still have to rush to deliver the next order." Feng Shanshan looked at the package in his hand warily and immediately called the other people in the police station. "How about this? Put it on the ground first. I'll sign for your order and you can leave." "Okay." The courier put down the item and waited for Feng Shanshan to sign for it. He did not realize that there might be something dangerous inside. When the courier was about to leave, Feng Shanshan grabbed his arm and said, "Let me give you a piece of advice. In the future, if someone wants to send something to the police station, don't accept the order." The courier suddenly understood what Feng Shanshan meant. A trace of surprise and fear flashed in his eyes as he ran away. Then Mu Qiqi and the others arrived at the entrance of the branch office and looked at the package on the ground. "Evacuate everyone immediately." Old Qing immediately said to the people in the hall, "Now." This was the first time Mu Qiqi and Old Qing had encountered such an urgent and dangerous situation. They quickly went to inform everyone to evacuate from the branch office. At that moment, Tang Yin returned from outside. "Captain Tang, don't come in," Old Qing said, sweating profusely. "The people from the bomb disposal team will be here soon." Tang Yin saw the package on the ground and also looked at the lawn behind the branch office. Fortunately, this was not a bustling area. "We can't wait for the bomb disposal team." The beeping sound was like a life-threatening talisman, pulling at everyone's nerves. Therefore, Tang Yin walked to the package and said to Old Qing, "Give me the knife." "Captain Tang, trust me, give me the knife." Old Qing did not know about Tang Yan's undercover experience. At that time, in the deep mountains, the only thing he had learned from the drug dealers was demoning and defusing bombs. Old Qing sighed and handed the knife to Tang Yin. Tang Yin opened the box and saw the true appearance of the bomb. Old Qing, after evacuating everyone, immediately pay attention to Lin Yuquan's movements. He must be around and waiting for an opportunity to take advantage of the chaos. "Captain Tang, I told you it'll be fine. It was better to watch less movies. Time bombs were not as scary as one imagined, and there was no need to choose between the red and blue lines. Moreover, this was a homemade bomb, and its power was far inferior to those of professionals. It could be imagined that Lin Yuquan had bought it on the black market last night. As long as he found the detonator and removed it, the bomb would be useless." Old Qing sighed, left Tang Yin and immediately carried out the order. Feng Shanshan was outside the branch office. When she saw old Qing come out, she immediately asked him, "Senior brother Qing, where's Tang Yen?" "He's defusing the bomb," old Qing replied. "He asked me to trust him." Chapter 690. After Feng Shanshan heard this, she almost broke down. She unconsciously took a small step forward, but she was pulled back by Mu Qiqi. "Clear your head," Mu Qiqi said as she supported Feng Shanshan. "How can Captain Tang feel at ease if you do this? That's not Xingxiao. Of course you can be so calm." Feng Shanshan pushed Mu Qiqi away. "I only know that you'll only be more of a hindrance if you go. Do you think Captain Tang won't die fast enough?" Feng Shanshan didn't dare to move again. She just looked at the entrance of the police station. Her heart was completely gripped by the man inside. At that moment, old Qing immediately stood up and observed. Tang Yen had said that Lin Yuquan would definitely be mixed in the crowd. Time passed minute by minute, but there was still no movement in the branch office. At that moment, old Qing saw a man wearing a black mask standing under a banyan tree not far away with a little girl beside him. Therefore he immediately went downstairs and asked the chief who was standing in the crowd. The chief immediately signaled for the rest of the people to surround the banyan tree and evacuate the crowd to a safe place. Lin Yuquan might have noticed the police's unusual movements, so he immediately grabbed his hostage and used the homemade gun he bought on the black market to point at the forehead of a 16 or 17-year-old girl in his arms. "If you dare to come over, I'll shoot her. It's a pity that I didn't see your entire police station explode. However, it's worth it to kill that annoying captain." Lin Xinxin was in Mu Qiqi's arms at that moment. When she saw her father threatening the hostage, she was so scared that she started crying. "Daddy, Daddy." When Lin Yuquan saw Lin Xinxin, his emotions fluctuated a little. However, he quickly calmed down. "Send my daughter to my side. Otherwise I'll take this woman's life right away." "Lin Yuquan, are you crazy? Do you know how dangerous it is for your daughter to be by your side?" Mu Qiqi immediately asked him. "I don't care. I have to have my daughter." "I'll exchange with the hostage in your hands," Mu Qiqi suggested. "Your daughter is only a few years old. She can't withstand your torment." "I don't believe you. It's because of you. It's because of you. You're the one who noticed me. You're the one who destroyed my family and everything." Lin Yuquan was extremely emotional. "I only want my daughter. Get lost." The entrance of the police station was already full of danger. It was difficult to advance or retreat. Most importantly, did Tang Yen get rid of the bomb inside? "Give Lin Xinxin to him first and get the hostage back," the director ordered. He actually dared to take such a big risk to come to the branch office to kidnap her. That means he really cares about his daughter. "Director, carry out my orders," the director said sternly. "What's there to discuss? Isn't your captain going to rescue them?" "That bomb cannot be defused." Lin Yuquan laughed. "I hate you police officers the most. None of this has anything to do with my wife. You arrest anyone you see." For a moment, Feng Shanshan wished she could go forward and perish together with this scumbag. However, at this critical moment, just as old Cheng was about to hand Lin Xinxin over, Tang Yan's voice came from behind everyone. "Wait. Captain Tang, Tang Yan?" Everyone turned around and saw Tang Yan coming out with ammunition that was no longer dangerous. Although his hands were inevitably injured, it was still a ghastly sight to see from afar that his hands were covered in blood. Feng Shanshan immediately went up to him. "Tang, don't forget what I told you." After saying that to Feng Shanshan, Tang Yan walked in front of the director. At that moment, all Feng Shanshan could think of was Tang Yan saying that he would crawl back to her side even if he had to crawl. Therefore, she suppressed her worry for Tang Yan and stood beside Mu Qiqi. "I told you to trust him." Feng Shanshan didn't say anything else, but she had to admit that she had almost lost her mind earlier. She also had to admit that Mu Qiqi was much better than her in terms of the overall situation. Tang Yan walked in front of the director and gestured for him to handle it. No one in the entire branch was more experienced than him in facing these vicious people. The director nodded. He didn't know what kind of big move this guy was holding back. In this situation, the murderer had already provoked the branch office. It would be strange if he could still endure it. "I really didn't expect you to come out alive like this." Lin Yuquan was surprised by Tang Yan's ability. "There are a lot of things you don't know." Tang Yan pulled Lin Xinxin from Mu Qiqi's arms. "Lin Yuquan, you seem to have misunderstood your situation. Your wife, daughter, and even everything about you are in the hands of the police. You still dare to negotiate with the police? You don't care about the hostage in my hands anymore?" Lin Yuquan sneered. "Do you believe that I can shoot him?" If you shoot him, your family of 3 won't be able to survive. You're not that stupid. I've already killed so many people anyway. I don't care if I kill one more. Lin Yuquan threatened the hostage and spouted nonsense. What about your daughter? Tang Yin hugged Lin Xinxin and asked Lin Yuquan. Don't you care about your daughter? She'll understand me sooner or later. You're wrong. You're a murderer. No one will try to understand a murderer. Moreover, you've caused such a big commotion that she won't be able to live in the future. Do you think she'll still understand you? Daddy? Lin Xinxin started crying. Daddy isn't a bad guy. Daddy? Lin Yuquan was a little distracted and looked very nervous. Since it's already like this, she has to learn to accept it. What about your wife? What you're doing is equivalent to sending her to hell. How can you bear to do that? My wife? Where is my wife? At the mention of Wei Ling, Lin Yuquan immediately looked around. The moment he turned his head, the sniper immediately attacked and shot Lin Yuquan in the neck, causing him to fall to the ground instantly. Tang Yin. Chief, this is just anesthesia. I'm sorry I didn't report it to you beforehand. I can understand. It's an emergency. You make the arrangements here. After the chief said this, he immediately ordered his men to eliminate the security risks at the police station. Although Lin Yuquan had fallen to the ground, the girl he was holding did not dare to move. I have a bomb on me. Tang Yin gestured for the rest to evacuate immediately and then went forward. Don't be nervous. I'll definitely let you be safe. In the blink of an eye, he was in front of the bomb again. Feng Shanshan felt that if she followed this man, her heart would stop beating sooner or later. Captain Tang, I'm fine. Tang Yin gestured for her to sit down and comforted her. Don't worry, I know how to defuse the bomb. I'll save you. Chapter 691. Everyone held their breaths, especially Feng Shanshan. She had been in the building just now, but now she was on flat ground. As long as she was at a safe distance, she could see Tang Yin. For dozens of long seconds, her heart was beating faster than her heart. At that moment, the girl could clearly see Tang Yan's hands trembling, so she comforted Tang Yan instead. Brother police, it's okay. Just do whatever you want. If I really die from the explosion, I'll blame it on my bad luck. If I survive, I'll definitely pester you to marry me in the future. The little girl was quite optimistic. You probably won't die, but I won't marry you because I already have a girlfriend. With that, Tang Yin threw the defused bomb into the open space and handed it to the bomb disposal team to deal with. Then he helped the girl up and handed Lin Yuquan to his colleague. At that moment, Feng Shanshan could not hold it in anymore. She went forward and hugged the man's waist. There were so many people around, but Feng Shanshan could not care less. Tang Yin was stunned for a moment, but he did not resist. In such an emergency, he was always used to rushing to the front and did not take care of Feng Shanshan's feelings. I'm fine. You're fine. I was scared half to death. If something really happened to you, who would be able to take it between the professor and me? Feng Shanshan rarely cried, but at that moment, her emotions were complicated. She could only use tears to express it. Tang Yin hugged her and comforted her for a moment, even though he knew in his heart that his relationship with Feng Shanshan could no longer be hidden in the future. Captain Tang and Shanshan are a couple. When did this happen? These two are still playing in the dark? To be Captain Tang's woman, just thinking about it makes me feel good for Shanshan. Let me tell you, Captain Tang's nose is big and straight. He must be very strong in that aspect. After the crisis was resolved, the men started gossiping. Moreover, they even said some dirty jokes. However, Muchichi looked at the scene not far away and laughed. That bastard Lin Yuquan had finally been caught, even though he had caused such a big mess before he was arrested. Soon, the Jianchuan branch office announced that the mass suicide case of teenagers that had lasted for a few days had been solved. Of course, the matter of Lin Yuquan carrying ammunition to the police station to provoke them was also exposed by the news. While Feng Shanshan and Muchichi were lovey-dovey, what she did not know was that she was about to be in big trouble. After Lin Yuquan was arrested, everything became smooth because the police were able to fully grasp everything about the dark abyss. This bastard. In the early years, there were still some people who lost their lives. It's just that technology wasn't developed at that time, so it was hard to find the real culprit. Now that we've caught this bastard, it's enough for him to be shot 10 times over. I'll leave the rest to you. Tang Yin patted his colleague's shoulder. I still have to go to the director's office to apologize. If it weren't for Captain Tang today, many people would have died here. I really didn't expect you to know how to defuse bombs. Tang Yin did not explain and went straight to the director's office. Director. Okay, I understand what you want to say. Now go and look at your hand. You're going to get married. Why are you still rushing forward so recklessly? Tang Yin did not say anything else and walked out of the director's office in a relaxed mood. Feng Shanshan was waiting at the door, her eyes red. Captain Tang, she's so worried about you. Don't you have anything to say? Officer Long could not take it anymore and pushed Feng Shanshan. Tang Yin caught her and said to everyone, "Everyone, you've worked hard. When the case is completely over, I'll treat you to a meal. But today you want to eat? The two of you actually didn't tell anyone about such a big thing. When the time comes, you have to explain it in detail. Captain Tang, you've been a straight man for 10,000 years. I can't believe you can still find a girlfriend." Tang Yin did not agree. He let Feng Shanshan support him, and the two of them walked out of the branch office. The group of people were envious. However, he was the captain with outstanding ability. He was tall and mighty, and he was also a hero who saved the world. It was normal for girls to like him, so they could not be envious. At this moment, senior brother Long poked Mu Qiqi's back. "Don't look at him. Your family is here too." At this time, Mu Qiqi frowned. Sure enough, she saw her man's car parked at the entrance of the branch office. Mu Qiqi packed her things and walked out, only to see Xing Xiao with a very cold expression. Xiao, I don't want to talk to you now," Xing Xiao said directly. "School is about to start. You don't have to report to the branch office every day." Mu Qiqi was stunned. She was very nervous. She suddenly understood why this man, who had always doted on her, was really angry. Therefore, although she felt very uncomfortable, she obediently shut up and did not say a word in front of Xing Xiao. Soon Xing Xiao sent her home. But after throwing her home, he went straight to Zhongting. Mu Qiqi looked at her man's back as he left and began to reflect. Was she too complacent? This was the first time in so many years that Xing Xiao had really given her a hard time, even though she felt that she deserved it. "Qiqi, you're back so early today?" When Mama Xing saw Mu Qiqi in the living room, she quickly went up to her. "I just saw eighth brother. Where is he?" "He left again." Mu Qiqi sighed. "Mommy, Xiao seems to be angry with me. Tell Mommy what's the reason?" What Mu Qiqi could think of the most was that when she was facing Lin Yuquan today, she had offered to exchange hostages. At that time, she had said it casually out of instinct to protect the child. It was just that she had once promised Xing Xiao that she would not let herself fall into danger. Today, she actually took the initiative to court death. "You know better than us how much eighth brother cares about you. Letting you be a forensic doctor is already breaking his limit. You still. Xiaoqi, Mommy can't help you with this matter." "I'm sorry, Mommy. It's my problem." Mama Xing patted Mu Qiqi's shoulder. She did not participate in this matter between the young couple. It was obvious that Xing Xiao wanted to teach her a lesson so that she would remember it. Mu Qiqi knew Xing Xiao's goal, so she could only return to her bedroom dejectedly. She was the one who had been rash and did not think it through. She did not know how long Xing Xiao would be angry. She knew that he would not give up on her so easily, but when she thought of his worries, Mu Qiqi felt so guilty that her heart ached and she felt extremely uncomfortable. She had lost her sense of propriety. On the other side, Xing Xiao was not far from home. He had to teach the little one a lesson. Recently, she had become more and more complacent. She dared to go to any occasion and take on any kind of trouble. Chapter 692. The case was solved and Tang Yin kept his promise. After going to the hospital with Feng Shanshan to treat his wounds, he returned to the police station to treat everyone to a meal. Seeing that Mu Qiqi was not around, Feng Shanshan immediately called her. "Come out for dinner?" "No." Mu Qiqi rejected, feeling a little dejected. "I have something to do at home." "About your big CEO?" "It has nothing to do with you. Hurry up and go be intimate with your Captain Tang." Mu Qiqi hung up the phone in a bad mood. Then, she leaned against the dressing table in the bedroom and looked at herself. It was 9 o'clock in the evening. To be precise, it was 9:15. Usually, the man who should have been home was nowhere to be seen today. Was he that angry? Mu Qiqi thought about it, put on her coat and took a car to Zhongting. When the secretary saw her entering the hall of Zhongting, she wanted to go up and greet her, but Mu Qiqi did not let her. "Where's Xiao?" "He's still in a meeting. The police have made Lin Yuquan's matter public. Zhongting is also cooperating with PR, so the CEO is still dealing with the aftermath." "Then I'll wait outside. You don't have to bother with me. Go ahead." Mu Qiqi's attitude was that of a child who had done something wrong. "I don't need to call the president?" No need, I'll wait for him outside. She was angry, so she didn't have the guts. To be precise, Xing Xiao had never really been angry with her. So, she did not know if this man would fall for her coquettish act. That's good. If you need anything, just let me know. Mu Qiqi nodded and sat on the sofa. She had thought that Xing Xiao would not have to wait until 11 or 12 o'clock to deal with the aftermath. She did not expect that she would have to wait for 3 hours. Usually, Xing Xiao gave her too many privileges because he spoiled and loved her. Now that he was suddenly angry, she felt as if she had returned to the past when she had a crush on Xing Xiao. She had to be careful in everything. She had always known that she was fearless because of Xiao Xiao's love. She never thought that he would be so distant and cold. She felt wronged as she thought about it. At 12:15, Xing Xiao finally put on his coat and walked out of the CEO's office. Then he saw the secretary pointing at the sofa outside the office. Xing Xiao turned, his brow furrowing in an instant. Because Mu Qiqi was sitting on the sofa with tears in her eyes. She was about to cry. Madam has been here for 4 hours. She wouldn't let me call you. Was he playing the ruse of self-injury? Xing Xiao raised his chin, turned around and said to his secretary, "You can go home now. Then I'll leave first." The secretary carried her bag and quickly made space for the couple. However, CEO Xing didn't move at all. He stared at Mu Qiqi for a long time before asking, "Am I wrong?" "You're wrong," Mu Qiqi said, holding back her tears. "Now that you know you're wrong, why don't you go home?" Mu Qiqi stood up from the sofa and followed behind Xing Xiao. When they reached Zhongting, Mu Qiqi said aggrievedly, "You were wrong too." Xing Xiao turned and looked at Mu Qiqi. "You are the support of all my feelings, but you have learned to be angry and give me the cold shoulder. I am a self-aware person. You know that if you give me a warning, I will immediately correct myself. I will not make the same mistake a second time. However, you have suddenly given me a very pessimistic feeling. So, this is what will happen to me if he doesn't love me one day. In these 3 to 4 hours, I feel like my soul has been stripped away. Am I relying on you too much? I have no self at all." After hearing her words, Xing Xiao pulled her into his arms forcefully. "If you dare to leave me, you can try. I told you a long time ago that since you dragged me into hell, don't even think about leaving." "I don't want to leave," Mu Qiqi said, choking. "You're angry. I'm uneasy. I don't feel safe. I should press you on the bed and spank your butt until you beg for mercy." Xing Xiao brought her back to Zhongting's office and threw her on the sofa. "Can't I be angry? Stinky thing. You're angry." "My heart is broken," Mu Qiqi replied, lying on the sofa. "On one hand, I don't know how to coax you, and on the other hand, I feel really wronged by being ignored by you. I'd rather you beat me up than ignore me for 4 hours. I really can't stand it." After saying that, Mu Qiqi stuck up her little butt. "Go ahead. Is it so awkward to apologize?" "I know I was wrong," Mu Qiqi replied. "Are you still a hostage?" Xing Xiao asked coldly as he hugged the person. The little thing's resistance was getting stronger and stronger, completely different from before. "No, I'm scared." After hearing these words, Xing Xiao turned her over and hugged her again. "Do you feel so wronged when you're cold?" Mu Qiqi nodded with tears on her face. "Not to mention 3 hours, even if I'm angry with you for 3 days or 3 years, you're the only thing by my side. There won't be anyone else. I'm married and I don't plan on getting a divorce. So, don't feel insecure." As Xing Xiao spoke, he wiped the tears from the corner of Mu Qiqi's eyes. "However, I still didn't expect you to have such a big reaction. You blame me for not remembering your instructions. Have you ever known your place in my heart?" Mu Qiqi asked. Xing Xiao choked for a moment and could only admit defeat in the end. "If there's a next time, there won't be a next time," Mu Qiqi said as she held Xing Xiao's fist. "I won't." Since it was so awkward to be angry, how could she be angry? Xing Xiao only wanted to teach this little thing a lesson, but he didn't expect it to make her so uneasy. He really didn't expect that he would have such an important place in the little thing's heart. He thought that she had long forgotten about it because she was too busy. "Even so, I still don't regret giving you the cold shoulder for a few hours." Xing Xiao took the opportunity to lift Mu Qiqi's tearful chin. "Because it made me see clearly how deep your feelings for me are, even though I didn't mean it." Mu Qiqi directly bit Xing Xiao's shoulder when she heard that. Xing Xiao smiled and pointed at his lips. "Here, bite this. Are you still angry?" Xing Xiao sighed and reached out to stroke Mu Qiqi's hair. "How can I bear to?" Mu Qiqi hugged Xing Xiao fiercely and deeply sucked on his scent. "I don't pester you, but it doesn't mean that my feelings for you are fading. You're rooted in my heart. Nothing can surpass or compare you. Do Do you understand? Today at the branch office I was just protecting the weak out of human instinct. I didn't really want to show off. Just think of it as me being stupid. Although I don't regret saying that. I will work harder to learn boxing in Sanda. Xiao Xiao, you have to believe me. What else could Xing Xiao not believe? Chapter 693. I believe you. Let's go home. Xing Xiao patted the little one's cheek. Mu Qiqi took the opportunity to straddle Xing Xiao and take off his coat. Xing Xiao did not move. He just held her waist with an unclear expression. You want it? You don't want it? Mu Qiqi looked at the man and threw the question back at him. I want to hear you say it. Xing Xiao looked at Mu Qiqi with a faint smile. Shouldn't we make love after a fight? Mu Qiqi pushed down the man's suit and unbuttoned the man's shirt. I want. Xing Xiao picked her up and pressed her against the floor-to-ceiling glass not far away. Since you've asked, of course I have to satisfy you. This place could overlook most of Jianchuan. Mu Qiqi felt both excited and shy. But most importantly, she wanted to feel that this man was by her side and would never be separated from her. It was a very exciting pleasure. After calming down, Xing Xiao hugged her and sat on the sofa to calm down. At this moment, Mu Qiqi was like a stray cat that had lost its owner. Her body leaned tightly against Xing Xiao's chest, afraid that she would lose his warmth. Xing Xiao hugged her and rubbed her neck. Isn't it enough? Hug me tighter. Although I'm angry that you forgot my instructions, little one, I have to admit that I'm proud of you. Xing Xiao tightened his arms and carried Mu Qiqi into the lounge. Since you don't want to go home tonight, you can sleep here. Okay, I don't want to move. Mu Qiqi lay on the bed and fell asleep a moment later. Seeing this, Xing Xiao tucked the little one in. Then he quietly walked out of the lounge with his phone and called Mama Sheng. Mom, Qi and I aren't going home tonight. Did you quarrel? Mama Sheng asked Xing Xiao. It's more appropriate for you to be unhappy at home at 7 o'clock in the afternoon. Don't worry. Your daughter-in-law is sleeping like a pig now. Alright, I got it. Mama Sheng hung up. Xing Xiao hung up and returned to the lounge only to hear Mu Qiqi murmuring, Xiao Xiao, don't be angry with me. Could they still have children in the future? Definitely not. On the other side, Tang Yan was treating the people from the police station to a meal. The group of people was endless. They chased after the two of them and asked who was chasing who. Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes at the group of drunkards. Tang Yan's hand was injured. Did they not realize it at all? Senior Brother Long, Senior Brother Qing, can you please take your hands off my boyfriend? Shanshan, how can Captain Tang stand it when you're such a tigress? Girls should be gentle and considerate. Senior Brother Long hung on Tang Yan's body and said happily. I'm being mean to you guys, okay? Feng Shanshan said angrily. From the beginning to the end, Tang Yan had been drinking and rarely spoke. He would only be like this when he was relaxed. If he was vigilant, he would never touch a single drop of alcohol. Therefore, this proved that he was in a good mood at the moment. Captain Tang, what exactly did you do to win Shanshan's heart? Can you share your experience with me? Old Qing hung on Tang Yan's shoulder and cried bitterly. Tang Yan already had a girlfriend, but he was still single. It was really sad. Feng Shanshan despised these two people's understanding. How could the two of them understand Tang Yan's level of concealment? I don't know how you can find a girlfriend either, but you definitely won't be able to find one when you're hanging on me like this. Tang Yan finally spoke. Senior Brother Long, do you really think that your Captain Tang is a top 10 good man and has never had a girlfriend? Feng Shanshan couldn't take it anymore and asked the two of them. Isn't that so? Feng Shanshan shook her head. He's had more girlfriends than I can count with 10 fingers. With your meager skills, step aside. Really? Old Qing felt like he had been turned upside down. It really doesn't look like it. Ask him yourself. The fact that she could tease him about such a thing meant that Feng Shanshan really didn't mind. Tang Yan smiled. No more, no less. 11. Old Qing was speechless. Officer Long said, Damn, I made a mistake. Shanshan, you're still with him. You're a beast. Who hasn't had a past in life? Feng Shanshan didn't think much of it. Alright, it's late. Can we go home now? I've been provoked. Let's go home. The two of them drank until they staggered. In the end, Feng Shanshan asked someone to send them away before she felt at ease. However, on the way back, Tang Yan forced Feng Shanshan to stop in the nearby forest and pulled her onto his legs. From now on, you're the only one. It was so difficult for Tang Yan to say these words of love. Feng Shanshan was immediately overjoyed. However, they were outside, so it wasn't convenient. We'll talk when we get home. I might not be able to wait. Feng Shanshan pushed him away and pressed his hand. Pay attention to your image. Wait until we get home. After saying that, she started the off-road vehicle again and went home as fast as she could. However, when she got home, Feng Shanshan found that the lock on her door had been pried open and the house had been turned upside down. Tang Yin suddenly woke up because he saw the note on the coffee table. However, he didn't let Feng Shanshan see it. This neighborhood is indeed quite old. I didn't see any movement from the property management even after a burglar broke in. I'll go take a shower first. Tang Yin propped himself up, entered the bathroom and turned on the shower. Then he leaned against the sink and opened the note. Dear Captain Tang, long time no see. After Tang Yin read it, he tore it into pieces and threw it into the trash can. What would come sooner or later. A moment later, Feng Shanshan entered the bathroom with a bathrobe. She saw Tang Yin leaning against the bathtub already drunk. Even so, this man still looked extremely sexy. Feng Shanshan was helpless. She squatted in front of Tang Yin and wanted to wake him up. Unexpectedly, the man flipped her over and pressed her to the ground. Aren't you infatuated with my body? I'll let you have your fill now. Feng Shanshan didn't refuse. She had been flirted with by this man in the car just now. Now that she had finally gotten home, she naturally wouldn't push Tang Yin away again. In the past, my entire mind was filled with the thought that you're not suitable for me. Perhaps we would separate sooner or later. But now I've changed my mind. I want to run for the rest of my life. Tang Yin, I want to marry you. Hearing the word marry, Tang Yin was completely sober. Not now. You're still studying. I'm a little older than Mu Qiqi. I'll be getting married soon. That won't do either. Tang Yin refused directly. Chapter 694. Feng Shanshan felt as if a bucket of cold water had been poured over her. She was stunned on the sofa. Are you really with me just to have sex? Is it because you're lonely? No. Tang Yin hugged Feng Shanshan tightly. No. I didn't mean that. You didn't mean that. You just don't plan to marry me, right? There are some things I can't explain, but I'm not playing with your feelings. Shanshan, can we not talk about marriage now? Feng Shanshan pushed Tang Yin away and slammed the door into the bedroom. At this moment, she felt her heart turn cold. She felt a chill from head to toe. It turned out that Tang Yin had never planned to marry her. He didn't put her in his future. She was the one who thought that their relationship had reached the point where they could talk about marriage. She was too naive. Tang Yin slowly got up and walked to the bedroom door. He sat by the door. It should be quite boring to be with someone like me. You know that I don't want to hear this. I want a reason. Feng Shanshan sat on the bed and wiped her tears as she asked. I can't tell you the reason now, but give me some time, Tang Yin replied. I'm not old enough to register, am I? Men are all pig trotters. Feng Shanshan cried and scolded. Tang Yin, you're also a bastard who plays tricks on people. You're no different from the previous scumbag. You can vent however you want as long as you don't leave me. Hearing Tang Yin's words, Feng Shanshan calmed down because she could clearly feel that Tang Yin had her in his heart, and he cared a lot about her. But why was he so against marriage? Forget it. Who asked her to meet such a man? Wasn't he not old enough to get married? She didn't know what was wrong with her to bring it up at this time. After thinking for a while, she quietly opened the locked door. Tang Yin was at the door. When he opened the door and saw her, he only said to her, "One day you'll know the reason. Wash up and sleep. You smell like alcohol." Feng Shanshan didn't continue the topic. Although her heart felt like it was being pricked when she thought of Tang Yan's rejection, she wouldn't push Tang Yin away impulsively no matter how stupid she was. She was the girlfriend of a criminal police officer. In the future she would also be a forensic doctor. Therefore she had to train her mental endurance. At least, it was better than hearing that this man was killed while defusing a bomb or being stabbed to death while rescuing a hostage, right? Tang Yin did not say anything else. He went straight to the bathroom because he needed to think clearly about how to ensure Feng Shanshan's safety. In the future she should go to the police station less. The next morning Mu Qiqi woke up in Xing Zhao's office at Zhongting. The secretary was holding a change of clothes and seemed to have been waiting for a long time. "Madam, this is for you. Where's your CO?" Mu Qiqi took the clothes and asked. "I'm in a meeting." The secretary smiled. "I'll go get breakfast for Madam." Mu Qiqi nodded. She had been tortured for most of the night last night and had been hungry for a long time, unlike some people who had been fed until they were full. "Are you going to the police station today?" Mu Qiqi shook her head when she remembered that school was about to start. She did not forget why Xing Xiao was angry. I'm not going. You don't have to worry about me. I'll do my own activities in his office. I'll let you know if I need to go somewhere. Okay. After the secretary asked Mu Chichi about her needs, she turned around and walked out of the lounge. Mu Chichi took her clothes to the bathroom to wash up. When she came out, she received a call from Sheng Bowen, so she did not know whether to laugh or cry. Third brother, do you know how to read fortunes? Why? How did you know I was free? The case has been solved and it's all over the headlines. How could I not know? Are you with eighth brother? I have something to ask you. Tell me, what do you need me to do? Mu Chichi asked generously. What kind of gifts do women like? I want to reward the secretary. After not paying attention to these two for such a long time, she wondered how they were doing now. This blockhead actually wanted to buy something for Secretary Ren. Then let me ask you, do you have any selfish motives for buying this gift? Mu Chichi asked straightforwardly. She wanted to know if Hu Ran was already a thing of the past. Can't I just do it as a superior? Mu Chichi could not help but hold her forehead and feel a little helpless. You're really not enlightened after 10 years. If you really want to do it as a superior, then just give it to her. Why do you care about her feelings? I want to make her happy. Mu Chichi's eyes lit up when she heard these words. This was clearly a sign that something was going to happen. If you really want to make her happy, then prepare a surprise with your heart. As long as you put in your heart, she will definitely be happy. If Hu Ran did not ignite the flames of love in him, what about Secretary Ren? Sheng Bowen hung up the call with Mu Chichi and suddenly thought of an idea. Since there was a banquet tonight and he did not have a female companion, he could ask his secretary to accompany him. After that, they would enjoy the most beautiful night view of Jianchuan on the top floor of the hotel. Although Mu Chichi did not believe that Sheng Bowen could successfully date her, at least he was tempted. Of course, Sheng Bowen would not know that this banquet would be the beginning of his beautiful dream and nightmare. Not long after Sheng Bowen hung up, Feng Shanshan called again. Haven't you received the news yet? The professor told us that we don't have to help in the laboratory anymore during school. Mu Chichi was stunned when she heard that. I didn't receive the news. Are you sure the professor is serious? He can't be more serious. However, Feng Shanshan also had a suspicion in her heart. In the morning, she clearly saw Tang Yen go to the forensics laboratory to meet the professor. Later, the professor asked the two of them not to be assistants in the laboratory anymore. It would be best if they could focus on their studies. Although she was not sure of her guess, she felt that the professor's decision had something to do with Tang Yen. Ever since she said that she wanted to get married last night, this man had become very abnormal. But the most annoying thing was that he would not say anything. She did not want to beat around the bush now, so she went straight to Tang Yan's office. Did you tell the professor that he doesn't need our help anymore? Tang Yan was reading a file. When he looked up and saw Feng Shanshan, he nodded. You are still students after all. Your studies are more important. After you graduate, come and report directly. I suddenly feel that you are very strange, Feng Shanshan said coldly. Feng Shanshan said coldly, I'm not your puppet. Why should I trust you unconditionally and follow behind you? Can't I? Trust me unconditionally once. You don't want to marry me and you don't want me to work. How can I trust you? Feng Shanshan asked in return. Give me a reason or just a reminder. Some of the people I arrested when I was undercover have come out. Tang Yin took a step back and said. Chapter 695. After hearing this, Feng Shanshan was stunned. Tang Yin picked up the file again and no longer looked at Feng Shanshan. I need to get rid of them, so I can't make any promises to you. After Feng Shanshan heard this, she walked out of Tang Yan's office in a daze. Although she knew that all of Tang Yan's concerns were right, for some reason she felt a sense of loss in her heart. Her feelings were complicated. She was worried and sad. Therefore, although she did not know how long it would take, Feng Shanshan still decided to listen to Tang Yan's arrangements. All the problems she had been pretentious with before were now worthless in front of Tang Yan's life. And this man was not good at comforting people, nor was he considerate. However, he must be suffering in his heart. Feng Shanshan believed that. When the professor saw her coming out of Tang Yan's office, he knew that she must have asked Tang Yan. He patted her shoulder to show his encouragement. Although I really hope that bastard has a companion, I'm more worried about your safety. Shanshan, it's been hard on you to be with that kid. If you need anything, please call me. Feng Shanshan readily accepted the fact that she was leaving. Study hard. If there's nothing else, let that bastard bring you home for dinner. Feng Shanshan nodded and turned around to go home. She had to admit that she did not have the ability to protect herself yet. However, one day when she could take charge of things on her own, she would no longer listen to Tang Yan's arrangements. She could also be a harbor for men to rely on. Mu Qiqi still did not know the reason, so Feng Shanshan went over and met her briefly. Of course, she did not reveal what Tang Yan had told her to Mu Qiqi. She only said, Tang Yan has something to do during this period of time. Let's listen to the arrangements of the bureau. Mu Qiqi knew that the reason would not be simple, so she did not continue asking. Anyway, we're still young. There are plenty of opportunities. You don't have to think too much. You probably don't know that what I hate the most now is the fact that I'm still young. If she had been born earlier and met Tang Yan earlier, perhaps she would not have missed so much of Tang Yan's past. Mu Qiqi looked at Feng Shanshan's hateful expression and smiled. Marry him if you hate it. Feng Shanshan gave Mu Qiqi a push and turned around to return to their home. However, less than 3 hours after she was sent home, Feng Shanshan received another call from the professor. Oh, Shanshan, Tang Yan had an urgent mission and didn't have time to tell you. He asked me to tell you that he might be out for a week. His luggage? They should have prepared it for him. You don't have to worry. Wait for him to come back. Before Feng Shanshan could say anything else, the professor had already hung up. Feng Shanshan put down her phone helplessly. She suddenly understood how Tang Yan's ex-girlfriend felt. Because Tang Yan was really not a suitable person for marriage. Whenever you needed him, he was not by your side. How was she supposed to persevere? The scariest thing was that you couldn't get angry because even if you got cancer, he wouldn't know. Feng Shanshan felt that she should re-evaluate this relationship, so she called Mu Qiqi. Want to come out for a drink? Mu Qiqi guessed that it was because of Tang Yan, so she nodded and agreed. Let's meet at the place. The two of them agreed to meet at a cafe not far from Zhongting. It was rare for Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan to be like normal friends. They asked each other out for tea and chat even though the two of them saw each other every day. When Mu Qiqi was about to go out, she ran into Xing Xiao. Behind him was a group of people in suits and leather shoes. They seemed to be her business partners. Mu Qiqi wanted to avoid these customers and leave directly, but Xing Xiao grabbed her. Where are you going? Feng Shanshan is not in a good mood. We'll meet downstairs. Xing Xiao nodded and let go. Call me when you're done. I won't go to the police station. I'm not afraid that you'll go to the police station. There's something else. Mu Qiqi nodded. I understand. Did she really think that he was so narrow-minded that he still remembered yesterday's grudge? Even if he remembered yesterday's grudge, he would not deprive the little one of any rights. He would only be unhappy in his heart. Mu Qiqi quickly went downstairs and arrived at the place where she had agreed to meet Feng Shanshan. This was the first time she saw Feng Shanshan sitting in her seat with a melancholy expression, looking troubled. Other than Mu Qiqi, Feng Shanshan did not have any other true friends, nor did she have anyone to confide in. What's going on? Tell me. I don't think I can hold on anymore. Feng Shanshan looked down at her nails and said, Tang Yan just left. It's an urgent mission. Even the professor called me. I'm very depressed. I don't know if I should continue to be with him. Xing Xiao was by her side every day. Mu Qiqi found it unbearable to be cold for 3 hours yesterday, let alone Feng Shanshan's long wait. If you think you can't hold on, then give up. Because you know what kind of person Captain Tang is. In front of a case he almost doesn't have himself. You can also imagine that in the future, when you get married and have children together, he might not even show up for the wedding. So, if you feel that you really can't bear not having your partner by your side, then you should make a decision early. Otherwise, it will be even more painful in the future. On the contrary, if you love this man very much, then you should endure everything. If you choose, don't complain. Although you might not get considerate care and you might not even be able to see him, since this is what you like and you want to be with him even if you have to risk your life, what reason do you need to hold on? Feng Shanshan was silent after hearing this. It was rare for her to cry in front of Mu Qiqi. You can't give up, right? I don't know which book I've read this sentence before. No matter how happy your love is now, you still have to be prepared to live alone at any time. School is about to start and we're very busy, okay? At most, I'll introduce my Sanda coach to you, so that you won't have time to think about it. Feng Shanshan did not say anything. She just asked the waiter in the shop and took a piece of paper. What are you going to do? Make a choice. Feng Shanshan split the paper into two. Then she wrote give up on one side and nothing on the other. I hate being conflicted the most. No matter what, I have to come to a conclusion today. You're going to give your feelings to these two pieces of paper? Mu Qiqi glared at her. Chapter 696. You can't be so hasty, can you? Feng Shanshan gave Mu Qiqi 2 paper balls. I'll turn around. You change. Mu Qiqi sighed and did as she was told. Other than that, she did not know what else to do to ease Feng Shanshan's pain. Soon, Feng Shanshan turned around and waited for Mu Qiqi's 2 fists. I choose the right. Are you sure? Of course I'm sure. Don't be so wishy-washy. After saying that, Feng Shanshan opened Mu Qiqi's fist and took the paper ball. But she only opened it and glanced at it before throwing it into the trash can. This is the decision made by God for me. Thank you for today. I've had enough. I'll go back first. Mu Qiqi watched Feng Shanshan leave. Then, she slowly opened her left hand and saw that there was nothing on the piece of paper on her left hand. It was completely blank. On the way back, Feng Shanshan burst into tears. But she had made her choice. She would never look back. So, after returning home, she began to look for a new house. 1 week. That was enough for her to completely disappear from Tang Yan's eyes. After Mu Qiqi returned to Zhongting, she kept sighing. Xing Xiao saw her and tugged at her clothes. What are you unhappy about? Nothing. I'm just lamenting that other people's relationships don't seem to be very smooth. After saying this, Mu Qiqi hugged Xing Xiao's waist. I can't imagine what I would do if I were Feng Shanshan. How would I keep such a bitter relationship? Xing Xiao hugged the little one and chuckled. Someone seems to have forgotten that she had a crush on me. At that time, she had nothing else but pure love. But it's different now. Feng Shanshan doesn't have any relatives. She's just a lonely girl. She needs someone to rely on. I don't deny that Captain Tang is a good man. He's even a hero. But, whether it's a husband or a lover, he's not a suitable candidate. So, the more I talk about it, the more conflicted I feel. Xing Xiao ignored her. He waited for her to sigh 3 more times before saying, Jing Yun and 4th sister are going to emigrate. Mu Qiqi did not understand. Mama Su is seriously ill and there's no cure in the country, which is why they've decided to emigrate. Xing Xiao stroked the little one's hair. Before that, let's meet 4th sister. Is this what you wanted to tell me just now? Xing Xiao nodded. Okay, I got it. But I'm going to stick to you for the whole day because whenever I think about Feng Shanshan, I feel terrible. Only when I'm with you will I feel calmer. Xing Xiao looked at the little one with a faint smile, and finally had his secretary bring a chair and put it next to him. Although I really want you to sit on me, considering the bad influence, I'll give you the seat next to me. Mu Qiqi sat down beside Xing Xiao and held his arm loosely as she watched him handle his work. Soon night fell. Sheng Bowen brought Secretary Ren to attend a business reception. Usually Ren Yufei was either dressed in black or white. It was rare for her to wear such a bright yellow dress, which made people feel very comfortable. Especially in this winter, it was like the color of a flame, warming people's hearts. I should have brought you to various activities a long time ago. Sheng Bowen smiled at Secretary Ren in the car. I was afraid of embarrassing the president. How could that be? I just regret that I didn't realize earlier that you looked so beautiful in an evening dress. Sheng Bowen praised sincerely. By the way, the banquet is over. Do you have anything to do? No. Does the president have other arrangements? Sheng Bowen remained mysterious and smiled softly. You'll know when the time comes. Although Ren Yufei was curious, she did not ask further. Soon, the two of them arrived at the Smith Hotel where the banquet was held. It was located halfway up the mountain and was very tasteful. Come on. After getting out of the car, Shen Bowen let Ren Yufei hold his arm, even though he could feel that she was very nervous. Don't be nervous. It's no different from meeting clients on a normal day. Ren Yufei nodded. She was a qualified secretary and knew that this kind of occasion was not suitable for talking, so she planned to be a competent foil. However, just as the two of them entered the banquet hall, Shin Bowen saw who ran in the crowd, along with her father. After the two of them divorced, they had almost no contact. They did not expect to meet again on such an occasion. Ren Yufei seemed to have also seen who ran and quickly pulled her hand out of Shin Bowen's arm. However, Shin Bowen grabbed her. Have you forgotten? I'm divorced and you're my female companion now. But the people outside don't know. They'll misunderstand you, President. The first person Ren Yufei thought of was not herself. She was afraid of bringing a negative impact to Xing Bowen. It's okay, Xing Bowen said gently. Follow me closely. I won't leave you behind. Ren Yufei's face flushed a little, but at the same time she felt very uncomfortable. Because, in her heart, as long as Xing Bowen did not announce the divorce between him and Hu Ran would still be related to Xing Bowen in name. Not far away, Hu Ran seemed to have seen the two of them. She held a glass of champagne in her hand and walked up to Xing Bowen. "Third brother, it's been a while, right? As long as Miss Hu is happy." It was obvious that Xing Bowen's words were deliberately distancing himself from the two of them. "A few days ago about Huang Yao, that's all in the past. I think we should find a time to announce everything that needs to be announced. This way it'll be easier for you to find a boyfriend. What do you think?" Hu Ran did not expect Xing Bowen to tell her that he was going to announce the divorce, so her expression was very stiff. Her gaze finally fell on Ren Yufei's arm, which was holding Xing Bowen's arm. Her expression was a little unnatural. "Okay, we're already divorced. It's only right. In that case, let's talk another day. I'll go meet a few acquaintances." Hu Ran nodded in disappointment. She had a feeling that the Xing Bowen in front of her was different. He was no longer the third brother Xing who would protect her and hug her. And the woman hanging on his arm was his secretary, right? Papa Hu saw that Hu Ran was in a daze, so he walked up to his daughter and smiled. "What's wrong? Do you regret divorcing third young master?" Chapter 697. "President Sheng, your wife is here today. Why did you bring a beautiful lady with you?" His business friends began to tease Xing Bowen. "To be honest, Miss Hu and I were not fated to be together, so we parted ways," Xing Bowen explained tactfully. "I see." The other party smiled. "If that's the case, there's nothing to hide. I just don't know if this lady, her surname is Ren." Xing Bowen did not directly tell the other party that this was his secretary. Instead, he introduced her seriously. Her surname was Ren. After hearing these 3 words, Ren Yufei's emotions were very complicated. Her stomach was churning. It was because of Hu Ran's presence that she felt pressured. However, Xing Bowen patiently explained the fact that he was divorced to all his friends who tried to talk to him. It was probably to protect Ren Yufei's face. However, although Xing Bowen had stated that he was single, it made Hu Ran very uncomfortable. This was because when the women heard this gossip, they all came to her for confirmation. This would make Hu Ran think that Xing Bowen was doing this for Ren Yufei. That was why he had to distance himself from the relationship between the two of them on such an occasion. He didn't care at all that it would embarrass her. Xing Bowen brought Ren Yufei around to get to know the people. Seeing that she was tired from standing, he let her go to rest. "Go sit for a while and eat something. There's still some time before the banquet. Otherwise you'll feel even more uncomfortable later." Ren Yufei ran for her life and went to the rest area because she felt that the gazes around her seemed to be on her. At this moment, Hu Ran took the opportunity to sit beside her. Hu Ran came over on purpose. "Secretary Ren. Miss Hu, I know. Back then you were Xing Kai's pawn by third brother's side. I just didn't expect that you haven't been chased away by third brother yet." Hu Ran's words were a little impolite. "Do you know? Your presence tonight made me very embarrassed. Everyone came to ask me if I was dumped, if I was cheated on, and who you are." "I'm sorry," Ren Yufei apologized, although she did not know why she was apologizing. However, as a secretary, her professionalism reminded her to take a step back. "If you still want to accompany third brother to such an occasion in the future, then please check who the guests will be. Only then can you help third brother avoid embarrassment. Otherwise, how sad would it be to be like tonight?" "It was my negligence," Ren Yufei replied with her head lowered. "Being a secretary is your job. I believe that I don't need to teach you what to do." After saying that, Hu Ran got up from Ren Yufei's side and returned to Papa Hu's side. She was here to vent her anger, to vent it on a secretary. Although she didn't know why she was so angry. However, Hu Ran did not feel how innocent Ren Yufei was at all. Ren Yufei was indeed a secretary, but she should not be humiliated and trampled on like this. Therefore, she hid in the dark and held back her tears. Xing Bowen did not notice this at the moment. It was when the banquet was about to end that a female member of his friend's family said to him, "Chief Sheng, you really don't have any tender feelings for the fairer sex. Your secretary has been hiding in the corner and crying secretly several times. You didn't even notice it once." After Xing Bowen heard this, he was stunned. "I don't quite understand what you mean. You divorced Hu Ran, but you brought your secretary as your female companion without making it public. You explained along the way and saved the secretary's face, but you slapped Miss Hu in the face. She's a dignified young lady, so naturally she had to find trouble with your secretary to vent her anger." Sheng Bowen was naturally lacking in this regard. However, under his friend's reminder, he found Ren Yufei and saw that her eyes were indeed red. So he immediately said, "Let's go first." "But the banquet is only halfway through," Ren Yufei said as she looked at Sheng Bowen. "There's no need to force yourself." After saying that, Sheng Bowen took Ren Yufei's hand. "I didn't ask you to accompany me to let you be bullied. This is equivalent to slapping me in the face." Sheng Bowen was angry. Although he did not know why, logically speaking, Hu Ran was his ex-wife, so he should stand on her side. However, at this moment, Sheng Bowen only felt that Hu Ran was no longer the Hu Ran he knew. Or rather, he had never really understood Hu Ran. She had suffered for 2 or 3 years. Why did she lose her original kindness now that her life was better? Sheng Bowen did not understand. "Xiao Sheng, are you leaving? Third brother, are you leaving?" Sheng Bowen turned around and saw Hu Ran behind him, so he grabbed Ren Yufei even tighter and said to Hu Ran, "The news of the divorce will be published in the newspaper tomorrow. It's my fault for causing you inconvenience tonight." After saying that, Sheng Bowen pulled Ren Yufei away from the banquet. Hu Ran's expression was very ugly. Although she did not know why she was so angry, she even felt that she did not know the current her. When Papa Hu saw this, he patted his daughter's shoulder. "I told you a long time ago that you would regret it. How about now? You're already divorced and now you're starting to be jealous of third young master?" "I'm jealous? Then why did you go and teach that little secretary a lesson?" For a moment, Hu Ran could not reply because she did not know what was wrong with her. Although Mu Chichi's words last time had made her understand a lot, when she really saw Sheng Bowen, she felt that she could not control herself. On the other side, Sheng Bowen pressed the button for the highest floor of the hotel. Previously, he had wanted to make Secretary Ren happy, but now that such a thing had happened, he naturally had to care about other people's feelings. "I didn't do it on purpose. I know," Ren Yufei explained softly because Sheng Bowen was such a slow person when it came to relationships. "To make it up to you, I'll show you the most beautiful night view in Jianshuan." Sheng Bowen booked the top floor and asked the waiter to decorate it very romantic. When Ren Yufei saw the candlelight dinner, she finally smiled and felt a little helpless. "Xiao, I'm just your secretary. To me, you're the hero who accompanied me through a difficult situation," Sheng Bowen explained as he helped Ren Yufei sit down. "But if people find out that we're on the top floor, it will cause a misunderstanding." "What misunderstanding?" "Misunderstanding that we're in that kind of relationship." Ren Yufei's face turned red again and she felt uncomfortable. Chapter 698. Ren Yufei thought of her background and could not help but feel inferior. Thinking about how difficult it was to walk the path of a wealthy family, she reminded herself very clearly. Even if she really liked the president, she could only like him. She could not have the thought of marrying him. She really could not afford such a beautiful dream. Therefore, not long after sitting down, Ren Yufei said uncomfortably, "President, it's already very late tonight. I've seen the night view. I'll go home first. I have to wake up early tomorrow." "Are you in such a hurry? I thought you'd be happy." Ren Yufei held back her excitement and smiled. "I'm indeed very happy. Thank you for your hospitality, President." After saying that, Ren Yufei stood up and bowed slightly to Sheng Bowen. Then she quickly left the top floor as if she was escaping. She could only get close to Sheng Bowen when she was his secretary. Otherwise, she would not be worthy of the president. Sheng Bowen was a little helpless and a little disappointed. This was the first time he wanted to invite a girl to see the night view, but he did not expect that. Forget it, perhaps he was really destined to be alone in this life, as Xiao Qi had said. Therefore, Sheng Bowen finished his candlelight dinner alone on the top floor. But then he still called Ren Yufei. "Secretary Ren, President, I'm already home. I'm not asking you to come out for dinner. I just want you to remember to communicate with the Public Relations Department tomorrow and announce the news of my divorce with Hu Ran," Sheng Bowen said helplessly. Secretary Ren realized that she was too nervous and quickly reminded herself to be calm. "Okay, I understand. That's it then." With that, Sheng Bowen hung up. Secretary Ren sat on the bed as if she was an unforgivable sinner. She could even harden her heart to reject a good person like Sheng Bowen. After watching the night view alone, Sheng Bowen left the top floor of the hotel. However, when he returned to the Sheng family's home, he saw Hu Ran's car parked at the entrance of the Sheng family's home. Sheng Bowen got out of the car and knocked on Hu Ran's window. "Why didn't you go in?" "Our identities are different, so it's not convenient." Hu Ran smiled. "I came to you for no other reason than to hope that you can announce the news of our divorce later." Right now, my father has a very important project. The partner only agreed to sign the contract because of my relationship with the Sheng family. If the news of our breakup gets out, the cooperation might fall through. Hu Ran, I know this has caused you a lot of inconvenience. Hu Ran was a little apologetic. But, can you please give me another month? For the sake of our past friendship. Hu Ran, I once helped you and you also helped me. I always thought that after the divorce we should be even. If it was any other day I might have agreed to it. What's one more month? But now I don't want to do it. When will you sign the contract? Sheng Bowen confirmed. I can only wait until the day you sign the contract. But if we divorce right after signing the contract, the other party will think that we have breached the contract. Hu Ran's tone was a little anxious. Not even for a month? Or is it that you already have someone you like so you need to take care of them? It doesn't matter. Tell me who it is and I'll help you explain. After all, I also want to see you happy. How about this? I'll ask Xiaoqi. You know that I'm a weak person. I can't make a decision on such matters. After saying that, Sheng Bowen took out his phone and called Mu Qiqi. This made Hu Ran's expression change. She did not expect that Sheng Bowen would actually look for his sister-in-law because of such a thing. Could he not make his own decision? Even so, Hu Ran had already said it. It was not good for her to take back her words. She could only wait for Sheng Bowen to pick up the phone. Then Mu Qiqi's voice came from the phone. Xiaoqi, are you asleep? I've taken up some of your time. What's wrong? Mu Qiqi was still lying on Sheng Zhao's body reading a book. It's like this. Sheng Bowen told Mu Qiqi about Hu Ran's intentions. He pretended to be as white as a sheet. I can't make up my mind now. Can you give me some advice? On the other end of the phone, Mu Qiqi looked at her phone in confusion. After confirming that it was Sheng Bowen, she wondered if this person had taken the wrong medicine. But when she thought about it, why would Sheng Bowen call her for such a thing? There must be something fishy. Do you want me to tell the truth? Of course I want you to tell the truth. Since it's in the past, you should cut it off quickly and look forward to the future. Although I really hope that Miss Hu can live a good life, she didn't tell you about this in advance. She just took advantage of your relationship that no longer exists. So, I don't think you need to get involved in this mess. After the divorce you should live your own life. After all, Miss Hu doesn't want to stay with you forever, right? Sheng Bowen nodded. You're right. In fact, Sheng Bowen deliberately turned up the volume of the call so that Hu Ran could hear him. After Hu Ran heard it, her face suddenly turned red. I understand what you mean. Xiao Ran, I hope you will always be the Xiao Ran who keeps your original heart. Having said that, Sheng Bowen hung up the phone and returned to his car. Then he drove straight into the Sheng family's house. As for Hu Ran, she closed the car window with a look of shame and indignation. Was Sheng Bowen really stupid or was he pretending to be crazy? She was a little confused. After entering the house, old Master Sheng pulled Sheng Bowen to the side. I just heard from the butler that you were chatting with that Miss Hu outside again. What? Are you still in love with her? Grandpa, is your grandson that kind of person? Although he doesn't have anything he wants, isn't smart, and has a low EQ, I'm not so bad that I have to pretend that nothing happened after someone dumped me and stick to her. Your grandson also has dignity. Besides, don't you like Secretary Ren? After old Master Sheng heard this, he immediately understood. After all this time you have a goal? Do you object? What rich girl? If I don't turn around I'll kick you out. So, it's better to find a steady one. I'll be satisfied if she can treat you sincerely. I'm warning you, don't give me a divorce and then remarry. Old Master Sheng pointed his walking stick at Sheng Bowen and warned him. It's impossible for me. Although I don't have any other strengths, I'm very strong-willed, Sheng Bowen promised. I've already asked Secretary Ren to announce the divorce tomorrow. That's not bad. Old Master Sheng was satisfied with the answer. Sheng Bowen smiled. The difference between his grandfather in the past and now was not just a little. Chapter 699. Hu Ran actually went to look for you again. Mu Qiqi's voice was a little cold. When I saw her in the past I really liked her. It seemed like she could share the joys and sorrows with you. However, ever since she suddenly asked for a divorce, I realized that some things were just hidden too deeply and hadn't been discovered. She caused trouble for Secretary Ren at the cocktail party today. Now Secretary Ren is completely ignoring me. Sheng Bowen was a little disappointed. So, you dragged me into the water to help you take revenge, right? Mu Qiqi rolled her eyes. This person was stupid. At critical moments, he could always think of some strange tricks that made it impossible for her to be angry. Xiaoqi, although I can't compare to third brother in any aspect, I believe that I can still act appropriately. Since we're divorced, we shouldn't be too involved. You'd better think of a way to coax Secretary Ren. She's being made difficult for no reason. If it were me, I would definitely leave in a huff. After saying that, Mu Qiqi hung up. Was this person smart or stupid? She couldn't figure it out. Xiao, do you know that I was tricked by third brother? Mu Qiqi propped herself up and looked at Xing Xiao. I heard it. Xing Xiao appeared very calm. This person actually knows how to use a borrowed knife to kill someone. In the future, if Hu Ran wants to hate someone, she'll hate me. He's too scheming. How is he stupid? Mu Qiqi thought about it now and realized that she had really underestimated third brother Xiao. I'll buy you a lesson and remind you that smart people often don't guard against people with mental problems. Was there something wrong with third brother's brain? Mu Qiqi laughed out loud. Actually, this was good. After all, she and Hu Ran didn't have much chance to meet. Papa Hu definitely didn't rely on his daughter or someone else's background to get to where he is now. It's impossible for him to use this as a condition to negotiate with his partners. This is too risky. I just think that this might be Hu Ran's way of keeping third brother and not letting him publicly divorce. This is a woman. Xing Xiao put down the documents in his hand and carried Mu Qiqi. What's wrong with women? You don't mean what you say. With that, Xing Xiao left the study and brought the little one to the bathroom. Late at night, the tormented Feng Shanshan spent the whole afternoon clearing out her things from the house and contacted a new house. It was all thanks to the money that old Sheng had given her before that she had the space to be willful. It turned out that it was so easy to leave a home. It was just a few bags of things, so there was no need to be nostalgic. Once the moving company arrived tomorrow, she would be able to leave this place and Tang Yen for good. She did not know why, but at the same time she felt an inexplicable sense of relief. From now on, she no longer needed to worry about this man's life. The next morning, the movers arrived very early. Feng Shanshan carried her luggage and walked around the living room a few times. She really did not expect that her relationship would be so short. But now they could only meet again. That afternoon, perhaps the professor really felt sorry for Feng Shanshan, so he invited her to his house for dinner. He also wanted to comfort her. However, Feng Shanshan told him that she was preparing for school and could not leave now. After hearing this, the professor could only sigh. As someone who had been through it, he had a feeling that this girl, his silly nephew, might not be able to keep her. On the same day, Huang Yao announced the divorce of Xing Bowen and Hu Ran in the afternoon. They did not give Hu Ran any face at all. Papa Hu did not think much of it. After all, not making it public would delay his daughter's search for a partner. However, to Hu Ran this was a blatant humiliation. Yesterday, in order to trick Xing Bowen into postponing the announcement, she had made up a lie. However, Xing Bowen still did not have any scruples and directly chose to make it public. Could it be that he really liked that secretary? Hu Ran did not know why she felt so uncomfortable after knowing that Xing Bowen was biased towards that secretary. Did she really make the wrong choice? Could it be that she actually liked Xing Bowen? When she thought of this possibility, Hu Ran was shocked. But now the whole world knew that they were divorced. Daughter, why are you frowning? You should make it public after the divorce. Third young master did the right thing. Could it be that you really like third young master? That's why you're so uncomfortable? Hu Ran shook her head. Dad, I seem to be regretting it a little. After hearing this, Papa Hu's expression changed. Perhaps because she had not figured out what she was thinking, Hu Ran did not mention Xing Bowen in front of Papa Hu for the next few days. Papa Hu also thought that she had forgotten, so he planned to arrange a blind date for her. In order to prove that she did not like Xing Bowen, Hu Ran nodded and agreed to meet the person arranged by Papa Hu. 5 days later, school started in Shengting University. When Mu Qiqi saw Feng Shanshan at school, she could not help but catch up with her and ask, "Have you moved?" "Yes, I've moved for a few days." "It's near the school," Feng Shanshan answered with her new textbooks in her arms. "I feel relaxed. You can come to my place after school." "Can you really let it go?" "I don't force things that don't belong to me. Xiaoqi, do you know? I used to think that my heart is very strong and can endure a lot of things that others can't and give Tang Yen the greatest support. But the continuous blows have told me that I'm just very naive." Feng Shanshan could not help but smile bitterly. "Actually, I know the reality, but I just don't want to accept it. Since you've made a decision, then stick to it." Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan walked together. In order to avoid embarrassment, You don't have to go to the laboratory in the future. Anyway, you don't need to monitor me now. That's right. A top student like me can't find a place to intern? When it came to her major, Feng Shanshan regained her confidence. Let me know if you need any help. I don't need you. Feng Shanshan snorted. You'd better have other friends. Mu Qiqi did not take her contempt to heart. After getting along with this person, she would know that she had a sharp tongue but a soft heart. The two of them chatted and laughed as they went to the classroom. On the other hand, Tang Yin had just finished his mission and returned home at night. He opened the door as usual. He wanted to see Feng Shanshan and explain to her, but after opening the door, he realized that there was nothing in the house that belonged to Feng Shanshan. Chapter 700. Then he called Feng Shanshan's phone number and found that it had been cancelled. I thought that I could wait for a warm embrace when I go home. Tang Yin threw his phone away and sat on the sofa. He immediately laughed self-deprecatingly. I didn't expect that I would disappear and leave without saying goodbye. At this moment, Tang Yin was a little disappointed. But a moment later the professor called. Are you home? Come over for dinner. You're alone now anyway. Tang Yin laughed mockingly a few times before getting up and going to the professor's house. In this early spring, the uncle and nephew were eating hot pot around the stove. Have you contacted Shanshan? She changed her number. Tang Yin picked up his wine glass and drank it in one gulp. Look at you. You still feel wrong, don't you? The professor laughed and said a few words of sincerity to Tang Yin. Although it's very pitiful to see you like this, I really think that you deserve this fate. What's there to be disappointed about? Have you ever considered Shanshan's feelings when you go on a business trip? Oh, you're back. You're unhappy that you didn't see her. Have you ever thought about where you were when the girl needed you? You're loyal to the country, but why should Shanshan sacrifice her own happiness to highlight your value? Let me tell you, don't feel wronged. Think about yourself and ask someone else. You'd better remember the disappointment you felt when you didn't see her when you went home because that girl was the same. People have to learn to think from another's perspective. After Tang Yin heard this, he immediately felt that he was too narrow-minded. Maybe I've been too tired these past few days. Let me tell you, if you really like someone else, don't be a chauvinist. Girls don't fall for that anymore. What's wrong with them? They have to wait for you, respect you, and cherish you. There are a lot of men like them out there. It's not just you, Tang Yin. Uncle. Forget it. Let's stop here for today. On account that you've broken up. After saying that, Professor Tang stood up and took out a note from his television cabinet. He handed it to Tang Yin. Don't blame me for not helping you. This is the girl's latest address and phone number. Let me tell you, if you don't get her back this time, you're destined to be lonely for the rest of your life. When Tang Yin saw the note, he quietly put it in his pocket. Professor Tang saw that he didn't mean what he said and laughed. You didn't come here for nothing, did you? Alright, I know you want to go home. Let's go. Don't waste your time here. Tang Yin accompanied the professor to finish the last glass of wine, turned around and left the professor's house. However, he would not take the initiative to find this woman. He wanted her to return to his side on her own. After all, this small courtyard was still under Feng Shanshan's name. He always had a way. The next morning, Feng Shanshan was still in class when she suddenly received a call from the property management. "Oh, Miss Feng, come home quickly. The water pipe in your house is broken and it's leaking badly. You have to come quickly to deal with it." Feng Shanshan hid under her seat and answered the phone. Although she did not want to return to that place, it seemed that someone was not back yet. "Then I'll come over at noon. Hurry up. You have to deal with it quickly." Feng Shanshan responded and looked at the next class schedule. "What's wrong?" Mu Qiqi saw that she was absent-minded and quickly asked. "There's a leak at home. The property management called me. Take a leave and go back to deal with it. This kind of thing can be big or small," Mu Qiqi advised. "I'll take notes of what you want to hear. Consider it a favor from me. I'll rely on you." After saying that, Feng Shanshan patted Mu Qiqi's shoulder and left through the back door of the classroom. Then she rushed back to the small courtyard anxiously. Sure enough, there were several pools of water seeping out of the house in the courtyard. So she immediately opened the door. However, the moment she pushed it open, she saw Tang Yin sitting on the sofa without moving. So she turned around and was about to leave, but Tang Yin stopped her. "Even if you want to break up, shouldn't you tell me in person? It's not very polite to just leave. I have nothing to say to you." After saying that, Feng Shanshan was about to leave, but Tang Yin stood up and grabbed her. "You don't, but I have a lot." "Tang Yin. It wasn't easy for me to make up my mind to make this choice. I think we really shouldn't continue. We're not suitable. Feng Shanshan pushed Tang Yin away. But the person who suggested having sex was you. The person who made me addicted was you. The person who made me want to get married was also you. Now that you're leaving, what should I do? Tang Yin asked Feng Shanshan. Feng Shanshan shifted her gaze elsewhere. I don't want to be like this. I'm always on tenterhooks. You don't appreciate anything I do. To tell you the truth, with you in this state, I really don't have confidence in the future. Because you don't trust me. You think I can't do anything. You think I should be locked up at home. But this isn't what I want. Really? After hearing this, Tang Yin was silent for a long time. It was so long that Feng Shanshan felt stiff. Then he said, I am used to being independent. I haven't learned how to get along with women. If you have any dissatisfaction with me, you can tell me. But don't leave without saying a word. I can't stand it. After so many years, even if I failed a mission, I haven't felt so bad. I know that it's easy to change a leopard's skin, but I will try to learn and understand you. So, can you not give our relationship a death sentence so easily? This time, it was Feng Shanshan's turn to be silent. At least give me an observation period. Feng Shanshan did not answer, but she still walked out. I'll go back to class. We'll talk about it later. Tang Yin did not force it because he knew that he could not be anxious. Let's talk about it later. There's still room for negotiation. I'll send you. There's no need. I drove here. After saying that, Feng Shanshan turned around and left the small courtyard. She suddenly understood what was going on with the puddles of water in the courtyard. Because he had carried out an important mission, Tang Yin got a few days off. So, after Feng Shanshan left, he drove to the entrance of Xingting and found a random coffee shop. He sat there for the whole morning. During lunch, Feng Shanshan and Mu Qiqi prepared to go to the cafeteria together. However, Feng Shanshan received a message from Tang Yin. I'm at the coffee shop outside Xingting. After Feng Shanshan read it, she turned off her phone and remained unmoved. Who cares about you? After you came back from repairing the water pipes, you were in a different state. Did Captain Tang come to look for you? Chapter 701. He said some provocative words and made me fall head over heels for him, just like what you saw, Feng Shanshan said self-deprecatingly. Feng Shanshan said self-deprecatingly. So, I'm in a state of battle again. The note I wrote and the oath I swore before are like a fart. Mu Qiqi chuckled and poked her forehead. Accept your fate. You have no resistance against Captain Tang. I'll struggle a little more. Feng Shanshan felt that she still needed to calm down. Up to you? Wasn't love something that could be sunny one moment and cloudy the next? The two of them had lunch together and then took a lunch break together. However, when Feng Shanshan went to the cabinet to get the teaching materials, she found that her cabinet had been pried open. Her things were in a mess. The first thought in her mind was Tang Yin, but Tang Yin really didn't know how to do such a tasteless thing other than putting on an act. Therefore, she temporarily tidied up her cabinet and returned to the classroom as if nothing had happened. Now, everyone knew that the two top students of the Faculty of Forensic Science had turned from enemies to friends who could talk about anything. Forget about everything else, the fact that the two of them were not to be trifled with was a well-known fact in Xingting University. Under such circumstances, the person who came to look for trouble with Feng Shanshan should not be someone from the university. Why did you take so long? Mu Qiqi saw that Feng Shanshan took half an hour to get the teaching materials, so she couldn't help but ask, Is Captain Tang here? No. Feng Shanshan shook her head. If he's not here now, he'll appear outside the school gate in a while, Mu Qiqi guessed. Feng Shanshan tilted her head and looked at Mu Qiqi. This person must have been a fortune teller in her previous life. I'm relieved to see that you seem to have come back to life. You don't know how depressed I was at home the day you made your choice. Since you've reconciled with Captain Tang, I'll worry about others. Are you some kind of matchmaker? Feng Shanshan scoffed. You have a mole on your nose. You really look like one. Get lost. Mu Qiqi glared at her. In fact, old Xing knew that Xing Bowen could not handle it, so he called her. Although they still disliked each other verbally, she could not let the old man who had just recovered from a serious illness come out to meet her, a junior, after the old man repeatedly asked her to do so. So she agreed to go to the Sheng family. Of course she was reluctant. After all, she and Xiao Xiao had sworn in their hearts that they would never step into the Sheng family again in this life. But now the old man had changed a lot, so she made a concession. Soon the bell for the last class rang. Mu Chichi leaned on Feng Shanshan's arm gloatingly. Stop pretending. Let's go out and meet people. Feng Shanshan took a deep breath and felt a little uncomfortable. You. Captain Tang, said Feng Shanshan. She felt. She of Feng Shan. And Captain In. Over Tian. Tang of Tang. She thought over and over. But and over again, over and over. Over and over. Over Feng. Over. This man must have done it on purpose. He must have. Before Mu Chichi got into the car, she saw Feng Shanshan looking around and knew that she must be disappointed. She finally believed that Captain Tang was an expert. Do you think he'll pester you if you catch him off guard? He wouldn't. He would tease you, make you upset, and make you worry. He was indeed an expert. Mu Chichi shook her head and got into the car with a smile. Fortunately, the man beside her was not such an expert. Otherwise, she felt that her heart would not be able to take it. Seeing her smile, Xing Xiao reached out and pinched her chin. What's so happy about? Share it with me. I'm very happy to see others happy, Mu Chichi answered. Just to satisfy your matchmaker's needs, I have to make an exception and go to the Sheng family tonight. CO Xing was unhappy about this. Grandpa is looking for me. You can't let him out, can you? Mu Chichi asked the man with a frown. Su Che, go pick up the old man, Xing Xiao instructed Su Che. Can't he go to the banyan courtyard? After all, there were other people in the Sheng family that Xing Xiao did not want to see. There was no need to ruin his mood for those people. Will Mom be unhappy if you do this? I know what I'm doing. Mu Chichi took a deep breath and nodded. Then I'll listen to your arrangements. Previously, Old Master Xing had said that he wanted to meet Old Master Xin in person. After all, he was the one who had done wrong in the first place. He had to go to him and apologize. Today was the perfect opportunity. Most importantly, he wanted him to see his son. He was now the chief engineer of Zhongting. Feng Shanshan drove her car home. However, halfway through she suddenly lost control of the steering wheel. She quickly braked and stopped the car. Then she called Tang Yan. Something happened on the way. Come and pick me up. Tang Yan's face turned red. A traffic accident? Something happened to the car. I'm parked in the middle of the road now. I can't move. Call a tow truck. Go to the side of the road by yourself. I'll come over right away. Why had the bookcase been pried open? Why had the car been tampered with? Could it be that all of this was premeditated? Feng Shanshan stood by the side of the road. Thinking about the scene just now, she felt a lingering fear. She had almost crashed into a straight car. 20 minutes later, Tang Yin drove to the place where Feng Shanshan had an accident. His face was extremely gloomy. Are you okay? I'm lucky. Nothing happened. Feng Shanshan nodded. Get in the car first. I'll go to the car to take a look. Tang Yin sent Feng Shanshan to the car and then went to check Feng Shanshan's car. He found that not only had the steering wheel been tampered with, but also the handbrake. This was done by someone. Obviously, the people who were looking for him had come and already knew about his relationship with Feng Shanshan. A moment later, Tang Yin returned to the car. His expression was hard to read. What happened? Now, whether you're willing or not, you have to move back and live with me, Tang Yin said to Feng Shanshan. They're out. They're here to challenge me. Feng Shanshan's eyes suddenly widened. Aren't you afraid of implicating me? I'm afraid, but I won't be at ease no matter where I put you. It's better to keep you by my side. I'll ensure your safety. At least before I die. Feng Shanshan couldn't resist this man. This was also the reason why she left without saying goodbye. She knew that as long as she saw this man, she wouldn't be able to move. Women just liked heroes, didn't they? Don't talk about dying. You said that you wanted me to give you an observation period. Now you've changed from a real boyfriend to a backup boyfriend. At least I'm still a boyfriend. This was enough for Tang Yin. If it were any other woman, he wouldn't even mention a word. However, Feng Shanshan was different. Feng Shanshan and Mu Chichi were two different girls. Chapter 702. The two of them returned to their original home, but they could only stay for one night. The new place you moved to isn't safe enough. We have to move to another place. When Tang Yin returned home, the first thing he did was to take out his card. This is all the money I've saved since I became a police officer, including all kinds of bonuses. I've also sold the house next door. We have to move to a safer place. What place are you interested in? Feng Shanshan took the card, still not understanding. The place with the best security in Jianchuan is the area where your best friend, Mu Qiqi, lives. Of course we can't compare to the Sheng family, but the small houses there are more than enough. All of the residents in that area were either rich or respectable or people with power. In addition, the Shin family was also nearby, so the security had to be one of the best. Do we have enough money? You'll know when you check. After Tang Yin said that, he set up several traps in the house to prevent anyone from sneaking in the middle of the night. Then he brought Feng Shanshan to take a shower. You're still thinking about that at a time like this? Feng Shanshan was a little embarrassed and angry. She watched as the man took off his clothes and completely ignored her objections. What are you thinking about? It's just that you have to be in my sight at all times, Tang Yin explained. Feng Shanshan saw the wound on his shoulder and couldn't help but sigh. My left shoulder was shot through and now my right shoulder is cut. No matter how good your physique is, you shouldn't be torturing yourself like this. I'm used to it. Tang Yin lay in the bathtub and pulled Feng Shanshan in. Compared to this, not seeing you when I came home last night is more painful. Feng Shanshan didn't say anything and stayed quietly in Tang Yan's arms. A moment later, the two of them returned to the bedroom. Sleep, Tang Yin said as he held Feng Shanshan in his arms. There won't be, don't worry. Feng Shanshan nodded and lay on Tang Yan's chest. Perhaps it was because she smelled the good smell on his body that she felt that her soul had returned to its place. Late at night, old Master Sheng was brought to the banyan courtyard by Su Che. Although he was extremely unwilling when he left and kept scolding Xing Xiao for torturing his old bones, he couldn't hide his excitement when he got into the car. After all, no matter how much conflict he had with his eighth brother in the past, he was still his most beloved grandson. Since they were discussing Xing Bowen's matter, third brother did not know that Grandpa Sheng had gone out without the Sheng family knowing. After arriving at the banyan courtyard, old Master Sheng walked into the house of his unfilial descendants with his walking stick, although he never thought that he would have such a day. After Grandpa Sheng entered the house, although Mama Sheng still hated him, she did not give him a strange look. She just did not talk to Grandpa Sheng. The one who had changed the most was Papa Sheng. He was now the chief engineer of Zhongting, and his entire being had become heroic and extraordinary. It was as if he was a completely different person. I didn't see you care about third brother in the past. But now you're willing to drag your old bones to work for him. Xing Xiao, wearing a black turtleneck sweater, walked down from the second floor and sat opposite the old man. Where's Qiqi? Old Master Xing did not care. Instead he asked him casually. Here. Mu Qiqi followed him downstairs and sat down beside him. Mama Xing poured tea and water from time to time. She did not join them. She still remembered her husband's death. How much do you know about third brother? I want to know if there's a chance between him and Secretary Ren. Well, Mu Qiqi glared at him. Didn't you pursue a match in the past? Because of this matter, you've made things difficult for me. Moreover, I don't think my background is bad, but you despise me so much. Girl, are you going to settle old scores with me now? Old Master Sheng also glared at Mu Qiqi. What I mean is that I'm afraid that you haven't figured it out yet. After all, Secretary Ren is just an ordinary girl. Xing Xiao quickly stopped the two of them from continuing to mock each other. I just want third brother to be more relaxed now. There's someone who loves him to take care of him. I was wrong about Miss Hu. I just want to make it up to him now. Old Master Sheng admitted defeat. If you sincerely accept Secretary Ren, then it'll be very easy. The reason why Secretary Ren keeps rejecting third brother is probably because she doesn't want to enter a wealthy family. She feels that a wealthy family is very scary. Since you like her, Grandpa, then find her and treat her well. Treat her like a granddaughter-in-law. Buy whatever she lacks and ask about her well-being. Make your attitude clear. You definitely won't interfere with their development. Are you sure this will work? Old Master Sheng couldn't believe it. She likes third brother very much, but she's afraid of the Sheng family's steps. As the head of the family, you can personally tell her that I don't despise you. Then she'll naturally have a lot less to worry about. After hearing Mu Qiqi's words, old Master Sheng nodded. It seemed to make sense. Since you say so, I'll give it a try. Also, that Miss Hu doesn't seem to have given up on third brother. Mu Qiqi reminded old Master Sheng. Don't do something stupid again just because someone else gives you some benefits. I've already died once. What else can't I get over? Old Master Sheng scoffed at Mu Qiqi's words. Believe me, as long as you clarify your attitude, Secretary Ren will definitely not reject third brother again. Old Master Sheng patted his thigh. I'll believe you this once. When Mama Xing saw this scene, she suddenly felt that it was a little strange. In the past, old Master Xing wanted nothing more than to skin Xiaoqi alive. But now, in name, he was here to look for eighth brother. In fact, he spent more time talking to Muqiqi. One old and one young. Although they were teasing each other, Mama Xing could tell that this old man still had some indescribable dependence on Xiaoqi. Even his most beloved eighth brother had to stand aside. Since it's settled, I'll go back first. Let your assistant send me off. He's good at driving. Old Master Xing named Su Che and asked for him to send him off. You're going back just like that? Not even 10 minutes. It wasn't easy for Papa Xing to finish his work and talk to old Master Xing. How could there be any overnight hatred between father and son? I still have to go to the Xin family. Moreover, I know that you've become famous and have just won a few awards. You're more successful than me. I've let you down? Old Master Xing said this from the bottom of his heart. Of course, Papa Xing was very happy when he heard this. He smiled like a child. However, when Muqiqi heard that old Master Xing was going to the Xin family, she knew that he must be going to apologize. After all, he was the one who insisted on breaking off the engagement between the Xin family and the Xing family, ruining his friendship with old Master Xin. Chapter 703. If she deliberately came to cause trouble for Xing Bowen, then Xing Bowen might not be able to get past her. Don't worry. The old thing is not like before. It's useless even if there are 10 more who ran. Xing Xiao put his arm around Muqiqi's shoulder and turned to Mama Xing. Mom, let's go up and sleep. Go, go. Mama Xing knew what Xing Xiao wanted to do when she heard his tone. Young people were full of fire. It was just that Xiaoqi's body was suffering. The night breeze blew. Old Master Xing arrived at the Xin family with Su Che's help. When Huang Yu heard that old Master Xing was here, she quickly went to old Master Xin's pond. Dad, Grandpa Xing is here. Old Master Xin snorted when he heard that. Was this person here to disturb his night fishing? However, even so, he still asked Huang Yu to invite him to the pond and put the chair down. Old Master Xing walked in slowly and saw his old friend. Old Xin, are you still angry with me? Who are you? It's not worth it. Old Master Xin was wearing a straw hat and holding a fishing rod. When old Master Xing heard this, he knew that this person was not angry anymore. It was just that he was embarrassed. I came here today to apologize to you. Otherwise, I don't even know when my old bones will be buried. After hearing this, old Master Xin finally turned around. You know that you're already so old, but you're still making trouble. It's your turn. Are you fishing? Fishing. They were both old friends. They did not have time to care so much. As long as old Master Xing apologized, old Master Xin planned to forgive him. Friends did not matter in this life. Why should they be so calculative? So, the two old men fished by the pond until the wee hours of the morning. Old Master Xing simply stayed at the Xin family's house. It was only the next day that Xing Bowen found out that his grandfather had gone to the Xin family and made up with old Master Xin. However, when he arrived at Huang Yao, he found out that Secretary Ren did not come to work at all. Then, Secretary Ren's assistant told Xing Bowen, Secretary Ren was asked to leave by the chairman early in the morning. The president asks you to work in peace. Grandpa? He still hasn't changed, he wants to. President, don't speak too fast. This time the chairman won't make things difficult for you. You just need to focus on your work. The assistant revealed a meaningful smile. However, other than making things difficult for Secretary Ren, Xing Bowen really couldn't think of anything else that the old man would look for her for. Old Master Xing called Secretary Ren to the Xin family. When old Master Xin saw her, he frowned. I'm taking you to play basketball. Why did you bring the little secretary along? I found a wife for third bro. Not bad, right? You have better taste than before, Grandpa Xin said sarcastically. After saying that, the two of them immediately laughed. In fact, Secretary Ren was also very nervous. She had no idea what the old man was going to do. Meanwhile, Muqiqi had arrived at school. However, she felt that everyone was looking at her weirdly the moment she stepped through the gates. Especially the pedestrians on the road, it seemed like they were talking about her, but it also seemed like they weren't. When she entered the classroom, she saw a huge banner in the classroom. There was only one sentence on it. Feng Shanshan is a whore who can sleep with anyone. Her private life is extremely messy. She even had an abortion for a rich second-generation heir. She didn't know how the other party was so resourceful that they even got Feng Shanshan's ultrasound data in the hospital. Muqiqi's first reaction was to call Feng Shanshan. Where are you? I'm at the school gate. What's wrong? Don't come in. Mu Qiqi's most direct reaction was to protect her friend. Anyway, don't come in. I'll see what I can do. The more Mu Qiqi said this, the more curious Feng Shanshan became. So, she quickened her pace and entered the school, only to see everyone pointing at her. Feng Shanshan ignored them and entered the classroom together. Finally, she saw the banner at the back of the classroom. Of course, Mu Qiqi had already torn off the ultrasound photo, so Feng Shanshan didn't see it. I told you not to come. You should have been obedient. Mu Qiqi immediately walked over and blocked Feng Shanshan's view. I know why, Yi Zichen said. Does Captain Tang know? About the child? Feng Shanshan nodded. He knew about it and didn't mind. That's good. Take a day off. Feng Shanshan was about to answer, but the dean entered the classroom and said to Feng Shanshan, come to my office for a while. Because this matter had already spread throughout the entire school, the school had no choice but to deal with it immediately. Feng Shanshan took a deep breath and followed behind the dean. At this moment, the people around them started to gossip. She's usually so arrogant, but she's finally failed. I didn't expect her to hit a child. That's true. I've long heard that Feng Shanshan is the queen of the night scene. It's not surprising that she has such experience. This time it's such a big deal. The school will definitely expel her. There's no room for discussion. Tisk tsk, that woman is really too dirty. Who would dare to want her in the future? Hearing these ear-piercing voices, Mu Qiqi walked in front of the dean and looked at her sharply. When Feng Shanshan was at the scene solving the case, you weren't even there. Were you calling dirty? You've done such an ugly thing, and you're still afraid of others talking about it? If adding insult to injury can make you feel noble, then let me tell you, I'll go back and check your ancestors. I want to see if you don't make mistakes. After hearing Mu Qiqi's words, the dean immediately fell silent. Clearly she was feeling guilty. You can talk about her behind her back, but don't do it in front of me. Otherwise, I'll make you put up a bigger banner tomorrow and float on the largest building in Jianchuan for 3 days. The people around them instantly fell silent. They had almost forgotten that Mu Qiqi was still around. What was Feng Shanshan to them? Seeing that everyone was tactful, Mu Qiqi sat down. They were really too friendly to them. Did they think that it was a blessing? On Feng Shanshan's side, the atmosphere was very serious. Shanshan, you're a top student in the forensic science department. Logically speaking, this kind of matter is a personal matter, and the school has no right to deal with it. However, now that the matter has blown up, the impact is very serious. The principal really wants to eliminate the negative impact on you, but he doesn't know who you've offended. Even the school's network has been hacked and you've been posted on the forum. Dean, just tell me what you want to do. Feng Shanshan did not want to listen to those official words. The dean pushed his glasses, a little helpless and a little reluctant. The school plans to ask you to withdraw from school on your own. Feng Shanshan might already have an idea in her heart, but hearing it with her own ears was a different matter. Most importantly, she did not even have the right to say that she was wronged. Chapter 704. The dean looked at Feng Shanshan awkwardly. In the end, he told Feng Shanshan about the school's research decision. Shanshan, drop out of school. Feng Shanshan did not say anything. If you still want to be a forensic doctor, then I'm willing to guide you on your own. This is my own fault. I can't blame you. I know you've tried your best. Feng Shanshan was silent for a long time before she said to the dean, I understand. I'll come and settle the withdrawal procedures as soon as possible. After saying that, Feng Shanshan was about to leave the office, but she was stopped by the dean. Shanshan, why don't we contact each other later? I'm really willing to help you. I'll help you in private. I guarantee that you'll be no different from how you are now. There's no need, Dean. Feng Shanshan firmly rejected the dean's suggestion because she could always hear a hint of ill intentions in the middle-aged man's words. Her private affairs had indeed been made public, and she had also been scolded for being a husband. However, this did not mean that she would indulge herself. She still had Tang Yan. After Feng Shanshan left the classroom, she saw Mu Qiqi leaning against the wall. Their gazes met and they did not speak. However, Mu Qiqi could more or less guess how the school would deal with it. You said just now that you know what's going on. Tell me who's trying to mess with you behind the scenes. Tang Yan's enemy has been released from prison. He probably knows about my relationship with him, so he wants to use me to issue a challenge to Tang Yan, Feng Shanshan replied. However, I can't refute it. After all, these are the facts. Then what do you plan to do in the future? I don't know. We'll cross the bridge when we get there, Feng Shanshan replied with her head lowered. Feng Shanshan lowered her head and answered, although I know it's Tang Yan's enemy, I still have to find out who's behind this. Then you can go back. I'll make 2 copies of the notes. I won't leave you out, Mu Qiqi promised. I think Captain Tang probably needs time to deal with these problems. Call me if you need anything. You actually don't know how to comfort me, do you? Mu Qiqi was disdainful. You don't need it. However, it's really time to investigate who brought those things from society into the pure campus. Give Captain Tang a call. After all, he's the one who caused it. Of course, do you think I'll let him have it easy? After Feng Shanshan said that, she took out her phone. However, just as the 2 of them walked to the entrance of Xingting, Feng Shanshan suddenly reminded Mu Qiqi, be careful of that old man from the faculty. He's not easy to deal with. What did he do to you? Is there any lack of social news? Using graduation certificates to coerce students to sacrifice themselves. I think that's what he meant just now. After hearing that, Mu Qiqi's eyes unconsciously deepened. Alright, I'll come back another day to complete the withdrawal procedures. Mu Qiqi watched Feng Shanshan leave. Then she returned to the classroom. However, she had a feeling that the person who ruined Feng Shanshan's reputation in school was a student from Xingting. As for the dean, he might have to suffer a little. When Tang Yin heard about what happened to Feng Shanshan, he immediately drove to Xingting. Without saying a word, he dragged Feng Shanshan into the off-road vehicle. If the school doesn't allow it, I'll teach you personally. In a few years, you can take the civil service exam and become a forensic doctor. That's easy for you to say. You're so busy, how would you have time to care about me? Moreover, what about the clinical anatomy class? I can't just kill someone to do experiments, can I? Uncle can completely solve this problem, Tang Yin said mysteriously. After saying so much, is your enemy really hiding in the school? No, it's that person's younger brother. He knows about our relationship, so he attacked you, Tang Yin explained. I just didn't expect that these dirty and despicable methods would be used on a woman. I'm sorry. Don't say these useless things. What I need is practical compensation. Just as you said, I need a degree and I want to become a forensic doctor. So, I don't ask you to teach me personally, but when I'm studying on my own, I can really contribute some effort. Feng Shanshan's words were out of Tang Yan's expectations. He thought that she would comfort him like other women and say that these sacrifices were okay. If Feng Shanshan really said that, he would feel guilty instead. I'll remember it. Tang Yin also answered seriously. Feng Shanshan was satisfied and closed her eyes to rest. Did that group of people only have this kind of method? He dared to lay his hands on a woman who was so weak that she could not even truss a chicken. Seeing that Feng Shanshan was not shy, Tang Yin urged her, in that case, go look at the house as soon as possible and move in as soon as possible. In that case, I'm really going to be Mu Qiqi's neighbor. Feng Shanshan smiled. However, Tang Yin knew that she would not be as relaxed as she appeared on the surface. After Feng Shanshan left the school, Mu Qiqi became a loner again. With the image of a cold and aloof scholar and the identity of the Sheng family's little bride, she could still do whatever she wanted in the school. After class, Mu Qiqi saw the dean passing by the classroom corridor. Suddenly, a thought flashed through her mind. At this time, Feng Shanshan also sent Mu Qiqi a text message, reminding her to be careful of someone. If nothing unexpected happened, that person was the mastermind who exposed Feng Shanshan's private affairs. Mu Qiqi looked at this person's name carefully and suddenly felt that it was very ironic. This was because in the eyes of the teachers and classmates in the Department of Foreign Languages, this boy was a good student with excellent character in academics. Of course, Mu Qiqi would not be so stupid as to look for this person in private. After all, she did not want to put herself in danger. However, she always had a way to avenge Feng Shanshan. Thinking of this, Mu Qiqi called Xing Xiao. Xiao, pick up Suche. I want to confirm something. At this moment in the afternoon, on the golf course, there were 2 old men taking a leisurely stroll on the grass. Secretary Rin followed behind Old Master Xing silently, but it was obvious that she was not used to it. Moreover, she was terrified. Secretary Rin, Chairman? Ren Yufei quivered and immediately responded. Come to my side. Old Master Xing reminded Ren Yufei and walked side by side with him. If you follow behind me, I really can't see your expression. Yes. Ren Yufei mustered up her courage and walked up. Calling you here must have scared you. I just want to ask you one thing. Do you like our third brother? Do you want to be his wife? Ren Yufei was stunned on the spot, her whole body stiff. Chairman. Don't be nervous. Old Master Sheng immediately waved his hand. I'm not forcing you or chasing you away. I just want you to be my granddaughter-in-law. Chapter 705. Chi-Chi said that you and Bowen are a couple. I was still hoping that I would have a granddaughter-in-law soon. I didn't expect it to be my grandson's wishful thinking, Old Master Sheng said with a look of pity. Why is it so difficult for him to woo a wife? Ren Yufei looked embarrassed. This was because there was a huge difference between this and the chairman in her heart. Secretary Ren, tell me the truth. If you treat third brother sincerely, I'll make the decision for you. Chairman, I don't have any intention of climbing the social ladder. Please don't misunderstand. Old Master Sheng sighed. This child's wariness was really extraordinary. You child, I'm telling you the truth. Who asked you to be famous for making things difficult for people? Old Master Sheng laughed out loud. No wonder your third brother can't find a wife. Everyone is afraid of a difficult grandfather like you. Who would dare to come to his door? Old Shen, don't be sarcastic. Can you help me persuade her? Old Master Sheng was helpless. What Chi-Chi said is useless. How is what Xiao-Qi said useless? You're the one who didn't put in enough effort. Old Master Shen rolled his eyes and then explained to Ren Yufei, Xiaoren, I'll call you that for now. This old man used to be very bad, but ever since he was stabbed in the head, he's back to normal. So, you don't have to worry about him tricking you. He'll send you a plane ticket tomorrow to send you abroad. Just tell me the truth. Do you have any feelings for third brother of the Sheng family? He really wants you to be his granddaughter-in-law. Ren Yufei looked at the two elders for a long time and finally believed Old Master Sheng's sincerity. Don't worry. This old man isn't satisfied with anyone taking care of third brother now. It's only you, so he can rest assured. The president is a very good man. Without waiting for Ren Yufei to finish, the two old men nodded. Then it's settled. Ren Yufei was confused. Because to the two old men, as long as she didn't hate Xing Bowen and didn't directly reject him, it meant that she was interested in Xing Bowen. A moment later, Xing Bowen's figure appeared in the grass. This person had hurriedly finished all his official business and looked for the two of them. Why are you here so eagerly? Old Master Xing asked knowingly. Can I eat Secretary Ren? Grandpa, she's my secretary. I have a lot of things for her to deal with. Xing Bowen quickly found an excuse. Secretary, my ass. Let me tell you, don't order Xiao Ren around. She is now my granddaughter-in-law. Old Master Xing snorted. Go find yourself a male assistant. Look at eighth brother. He never makes Chi-Chi worry. When Xing Bowen heard that, he felt as if he had been struck by lightning. Grandpa, what are you? If I had to wait for you to make a move, my old bones would probably have melted into slag, so I couldn't wait any longer. Little Ren is innocent and pretty good. I don't object to the two of you dating at all. If possible, consider getting married early. Xing Bowen looked embarrassed when he heard that. Grandpa, Secretary Ren and I, you're doing this too? Old Master Xing snorted. You weren't in a hurry to announce your divorce with who ran before. Why are you suddenly cutting ties with her? Do you dare to swear that it really has nothing to do with Xiaoren? Ahem. Xing Bowen coughed lightly. But everything has to be done step by step. I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm just expressing my attitude. If Xiaoren marries into the Sheng family, I definitely won't make things difficult for her. I'll even love her like she's my own granddaughter. Don't let me scare her away. Old Master Xing pointed at Xing Bowen with his walking stick and said, You have to work hard for me. After all this time, she still hasn't accepted you. Xing Bowen's face really couldn't hang on this time. Alright, your Grandpa Shen and I still have to continue catching up. The two of you can go. If there's nothing else, bring Xiaoren back for dinner. Xing Bowen was completely shocked. He directly pulled Ren Yufei and left. After getting into the car, Xing Bowen explained, Well, don't take it to heart. Ren Yufei was stunned for a few seconds before she suddenly laughed. Actually, the chairman is quite cute. That's now. No matter what, you should consider what Grandpa said. Ren Yufei looked at Xing Bowen in astonishment. I don't seem to treat you as just a partner. Xing Bowen took advantage of the momentum that Old Master Sheng had given him and took the opportunity to confess. Especially when I see you being bullied. Therefore, when Hu Ran begged him not to announce the divorce, he did not hesitate at all and let Chi-Chi play with Hu Ran. Ren Yufei's face suddenly turned red to her neck. If you don't answer, I'll take it as a yes. But Miss Hu seems to still have feelings for you. She was the one who brought up the divorce. No matter what she thinks, to me that marriage is in the past. I'm not a doll. She wants a new life so she can bring up the divorce. She's still worried about the past, so I have to cooperate. There's no such thing in this world, Xing Bowen answered seriously. Yufei, let's give it a try, okay? You're too sudden. No, it's the accumulation of time. When no one believed in me, only you gave me trust. You felt that with my personality I could manage Huang Yao well. During my most difficult time, you also fought for me on the front line. I haven't forgotten all of this. Ren Yufei was silent again. Or rather, she was in disbelief. So, I'm really not sudden. At this moment, Ren Yufei finally understood what kind of girl Xing Bowen wanted. He seemed to be calm and needed a burning fire, but in fact he was not. He was sentient, but he was born with a slow reaction time. In other words, he wanted to find a drizzle that moistened things silently. I can try, but I'm a person who backs down easily. You back then promised Shen Kai to seduce me? Xing Bowen laughed. Do you want to tell him that you've completed the mission? Ren Yufei saw that he could still joke, so she relaxed. Promise me that you won't do anything excessive in the company. As you wish. Xing Bowen cried out in his heart. The old man had finally done a good deed and acted as a divine assistant. Of course, he did not know that Mu Chichi was the one who came up with the idea behind the scenes. He just did not know what kind of expression Hu Ran would have if she found out about this. Back then she was unwilling to be bland with Xing Bowen, but after leaving she realized that she was worried about this man again. Now that Xing Bowen had Ren Yufei, could she really let go of the past? After returning to the company, Xing Bowen hid in his office and called Old Master Shin to tell him the good news. Old Master Shin hung up the phone and looked at Old Master Shin. This Chichi is really a blessed person. Chapter 706. In the future, I'll dote on her and treat her as the real crown princess, okay? Old Master Sheng was helpless. It was embarrassing to always be talked about by his old friend. That's more like it. When your third brother succeeds, hurry up and invite me to the wedding. Old Master Sheng chuckled. After being stunned for a while, he asked Old Master Shin, "Seventh girl asked me to buy something for Xiao Ren. I forgot. Next time, bring it directly to Huang Yao and let her choose for herself." Old Master Shing nodded. He did not care about these external things at all. Good suggestion. Speaking of which, in terms of luck, Ren Yufei was still the one. Everyone in the Sheng family had been tortured by the old man, but she was the only one. The old man was already open-minded. I remember that your birthday is coming soon, right? Old Master Sheng was stunned. You still remember? Originally, Old Master Sheng thought that this would be a reunion birthday, but the truth was not like that. Huang Yao, the CEO's office. Separated by a glass, Xing Bowen secretly looked at Ren Yufei several times while he was dealing with work. The feeling of having a girlfriend was indeed wonderful, so he could not help but want to take a few more glances at Ren Yufei. He could not be too intimate at the company, but he could at least send her home, right? Therefore, when it was time to get off work, Xing Bowen worked overtime at the company as usual. Ren Yufei delivered the new documents to the office and then said to him, "President, there's a visitor. Come with me after work." Xing Bowen looked up at Ren Yufei and saw Hu Ran standing behind her. No wonder there was no expression on Ren Yufei's face. Then Xing Bowen closed the document and put away his smile. He used a businesslike tone to speak to Hu Ran. "Why are you looking for me at this time?" "Third brother, I want to ask you out for dinner." "But I have an appointment tonight," Xing Bowen said directly. He planned to completely ignore Hu Ran's special dressing. After all, his real girlfriend and ex-wife were both here. He had to be careful to avoid embarrassment. "In that case, I have something to say to you here." After saying that, Hu Ran turned to look at Ren Yufei. "I wonder if Secretary Ren can leave?" "I'll get off work first, CEO." Ren Yufei turned around and left the office. Xing Bowen watched Ren Yufei leave, then took out his phone and sent her a text message. "Wait for me outside for a few minutes. I'll be out soon." Ren Yufei leaned against the door, feeling upset. However, when she saw the text message from Xing Bowen, she finally felt a little better. "If you have anything to say it now." Xing Bowen sat down opposite Hu Ran and looked at his watch. "I'm in a hurry." Hu Ran's expression was a little awkward, but after a few seconds she still said, "Third brother, I still want to go back to your side. These few days, Dad arranged for me to meet some outstanding men, but when I see them, your face automatically appears in my mind, so I want to start over with you." After listening to this, Xing Bowen looked at Hu Ran carefully. After a moment of silence, he chuckled and said, "Hu Ran, you asked for a divorce because you felt that there was no love between us. I understood and accepted it. I thought that at that time your decision was prudent enough. But now you want to start over. You're the one who got divorced and you're the one who wants to start over. Is my life just for you?" Hu Ran did not expect that Xing Bowen would start by questioning her. "I know I was wrong. Third brother, let me make it up to you. After losing you, I finally know what true panic is." Xing Bowen shook his head and seriously advised Hu Ran, "Xiao Ran, don't waste any more time on me. I've already walked out. I hope you can walk out as soon as possible, okay?" "Have you fallen for another woman?" Hu Ran suddenly asked Xing Bowen. "It has nothing to do with anyone. It's just that as a man I have my dignity. I hope you won't look for me again in the future. Perhaps we can still remember the beauty we once had." Xing Bowen's words had already expressed his meaning very clearly. "Third brother, I know I was impulsive back then and asked for a divorce. But it's precisely because of that that I had to lower myself to look for you. I don't treat you as a toy. You're my benefactor." From Hu Ran's eyes, Xing Bowen did not see her feelings. All he saw was her unwillingness. She did not know when she had started to treat the loyal Xing Bowen as her own. Before the divorce she had never felt it. But after the divorce she slowly realized this fact. In the past she thought that Xing Bowen was there and that he was soft-hearted. As long as she told him that she regretted it, he would definitely agree to remarry. In fact, Hu Ran had always held such a thought in her heart. However, although Xing Bowen was a slow-witted person, he was not a fool after all. He understood a lot of things. Moreover, a person who could spend 2 years pretending to be a fool would not be as healthy as a normal person. It was just that she might have hidden a side that she did not realize. "Hu Ran, we really can't go back." Hearing this, Hu Ran's self-esteem suffered a heavy blow. She had really let go of her pride and even her face to muster up the courage to come to Huangyao to get back together with Xing Bowen. But he actually rejected her. "Third brother, I'll get someone to send you back." After saying this, Xing Bowen walked out of the office and asked the company staff to send Hu Ran home. Hu Ran took a deep breath. Her feelings were complicated. She felt reluctant, but she also felt that it was not worth it. She even thought that she was crazy to come to Xing Bowen to remarry. "Miss Hu, please?" Hu Ran looked at the unfamiliar staff and made a request to Xing Bowen. "I want your secretary to send me back. We have a social engagement at 6:30. We can't send you back." Xing Bowen's tone was very light, but very decisive. He did not give her any room to refuse. Hu Ran chuckled and nodded. "I understand." Having said that, she turned around and left Huangyao. It turned out that she was too confident in herself. Xing Bowen looked easy to bully and control, but once he had decided on something, even 9 bulls could not pull him back. Most importantly, his secretary, a woman's intuition was definitely right. Her secretary definitely had a special relationship with Xing Bowen. How long had they been divorced? Xing Bowen was said to be loyal, but didn't he still fall in love with everyone he saw? However, she did not expect that she and Xing Bowen were divorced. Since there was no relationship, wasn't it Xing Bowen's freedom to like whoever he wanted? After Hu Ran left, Xing Bowen felt quite distressed. He also began to consider letting Ren Yufei no longer be his secretary. Chapter 707. Ren Yufei sat in the secretary's seat and watched Xing Bowen and Hu Ran talk. Seeing this scene, her expression naturally did not look good. Xing Bowen felt a little guilty. On the first day Ren Yufei became his girlfriend, he had to let her see such a scene. Therefore, after everyone in the company left, Xing Bowen walked up to Ren Yufei and said to her, "I don't want you to see such a scene. Rich, ex-wife, remarried man. It seems that every word is pressing down on you. I don't want you to carry these burdens." After Ren Yufei heard this, she suddenly felt a little sorry for him. She knew that Xing Bowen was not the kind of man who would change his mind. His rejection was also very powerful. However, he did not have the lethality of Xing Xiao, so others often did not take his rejection seriously. "President, I want to give myself a promotion," Ren Yufei said thoughtfully. "Ha. I want to be your special assistant. I'll choose another secretary. What do you think?" This way Ren Yufei's daily work would not change, but she would have more freedom. Moreover, she could also find an excuse to refuse Hu Ran. Since she had agreed to give it a try today, she could not back down. "I'll arrange to find someone tomorrow. Can you get off work now, Secretary Ren?" Xing Bowen put one hand in his trouser pocket and asked Ren Yufei in a carefree manner. Ren Yufei nodded. "Yes. Where do you want to go? I want to go home, Ren Yufei said as she picked up the documents. Go home and continue to do the work you arranged. Then I'll drive. You've been working all day. After saying that, Ren Yufei followed behind Xing Bowen. The two of them went to the parking lot of Huangyao one after another. Then Ren Yufei sat in the driver's seat. However, because it was rush hour, the road was very congested and it was raining. So, when Ren Yufei drove to the door, Xing Bowen had already fallen asleep against the backrest. He was very quiet when he slept, and he did not have bad habits like snoring. Ren Yufei parked the car at the door and could not bear to wake him up. However, Grandpa Sheng somehow got her phone number and called her directly. Xiaoren, the chef at home, made delicious food today. Come back with third brother for dinner. There are a lot of rooms in the Sheng family. If you stay late tonight, you can rest at the Sheng family's place. Grandpa Sheng was a little surprised. Chairman, I'm already home. I'm sorry. I see. What a pity. When are you coming? There's a chance. Ren Yufei's body began to heat up. It was mainly because old Master Sheng was too enthusiastic. She really couldn't stand it. Xing Bowen heard the sound and woke up. He looked at Ren Yufei. Grandpa called? Yes, but I can't handle the chairman like this. Looks like you'll have to get used to it in the future. After saying that, Xing Bowen looked around. We're at your house. Go up. See you tomorrow. Yes. Ren Yufei released her seatbelt and was about to get out of the car when Xing Bowen suddenly grabbed her arm and pulled her into his arms. Today I'm really happy. Ren Yufei wanted to struggle, but when she heard this, her heart softened and she let Xing Bowen hug her. It's this steadfast feeling that makes me feel very comfortable and relaxed. Then Ren Yufei withdrew from Xing Bowen's arms. See you tomorrow. Xing Bowen knew that this was the little bud of love. He loved Ren Yufei's reassuring scent, so he wanted to take good care of her. However, when he thought of Hu Ran, he suddenly put away his gentle expression. He had to admit that he had no way to deal with such a person. He had to ask Mu Qiqi for advice. At this moment, Mu Qiqi was confirming whether what happened to Feng Shanshan in school was done by that top student. If it was really the case, then Mu Qiqi would definitely give him a taste of his own medicine. I've checked most of the school's surveillance cameras. Although I didn't really capture this person, he's in every video. In addition, I've been to the hospital and asked the medical staff. From the hospital's surveillance cameras, he was the one who went to the medical staff to deal with Feng Shanshan's case. After hearing Su Che's words, Mu Qiqi nodded. That's right. He used such a shameless method to deal with a girl, and he still dares to call himself an excellent student. Originally, he shouldn't be compared to a criminal, but from the looks of it now, he's still a brother after all. He has the genes to harm others. After hearing Mu Qiqi's words, Xing Xiao pinched Mu Qiqi's chin and looked into her eyes. I think you haven't encountered a setback in a long time, so your hands are itching, right? When Su Che saw this, he quickly retreated. The two of them were arguing with each other like this. Soon it would be an X-rated scene. He didn't want to be a third wheel here. However, just as the two of them were about to kiss, Xing Bowen called. Mu Qiqi immediately pushed Xing Xiao away. Go take a shower. Xing Xiao looked at Mu Qiqi mockingly. This little one had all kinds of tricks up her sleeves all day long. However, he spoiled her. There was nothing he could do. So, Xing Xiao got up and went straight to the bathroom from the study. When Mu Qiqi saw that it was Xing Bowen's call, she immediately picked it up. What's wrong? Third brother. There's something I want to ask you. Xing Bowen was downstairs from Ren Yufei's house because he didn't want Ren Yufei to bump into Hu Ran looking for him endlessly again. Is there any way to make Hu Ran give up completely? Did she do something shocking again? Mu Qiqi guessed. She came to me to remarry. Mu Qiqi was speechless. Does this person have a dual personality? No matter how bad she was in the past, she wouldn't be so persistent. In the end, she still can't accept it, Mu Qiqi said helplessly. As you, of course, you can only give her the cold shoulder, avoid her, and forget her existence. Otherwise, she will think that you're just acting coquettishly with her. She came to Huangyao today and was seen by Secretary Ren. Mu Qiqi rolled her eyes. Why did she go to Huangyao to look for you? It's because she has already smelled the adultery between you and Secretary Ren. She wants to test you. If she finds out about your relationship, she will definitely go crazy. But I'm open and above board. Let me think of a way. Mu Qiqi fell into deep thought. Give me some time. Hu Ran was not going overboard now. She was just pestering him, so there was no need to use any ruthless methods on her. However, the relationship between third brother and Secretary Ren had just sprouted. If Hu Ran appeared frequently, wouldn't their relationship be unstable? I feel that I'm very useless. My words and actions don't seem to have any deterrence to others. At this time, I'm a little envious of eighth brother. Chapter 708. Sheng Bowen hung up the phone and looked up at the floor where Ren Yufei was. Seeing that the lights were on, he returned to the car with a peace of mind and left. As for Hu Ran, he had to think about it carefully. Sheng Xiao knew that third brother had called Mu Qiqi. When he was lying on the bed, he pinched the little thing's chin and asked condescendingly, "Are you someone else's lousy advisor now?" The fact that third brother came to me means that he values Secretary Ren enough. He's sincere. You also know that he's not good at scheming, and Hu Ran hides it very well. At least, it's better for him to ask for help now than to call after he's schemed against in the future, right? Mu Qiqi smiled at Sheng Xiao. So you're good at scheming? Didn't I learn all my scheming from you? Mu Qiqi broke free from Sheng Xiao's fingers and burrowed into Sheng Xiao's arms. A strict teacher produces a brilliant disciple. Sheng Xiao hugged the tricky thing and turned off the bedroom light. I'll teach you something else now. Although it was early spring, March in Jianchuan was still very cold. After Hu Ran was rejected by Sheng Bowen, she stood in the garden in the cold wind for most of the night. She felt ashamed and resentful when she thought about it. In her heart, Sheng Bowen had always been a loyal dog. He was loyal and righteous, so she felt that she would definitely win over Sheng Bowen. However, she did not expect that men were fickle. Papa, who saw his daughter sitting in the garden and found it difficult to understand, so he went out to persuade her. It's so late at night. Shouldn't you rest? Dad, I went to third brother today to remarry. Papa, who was shocked when he heard that. But he rejected me. Hu Ran's words were a little unbelievable. He didn't care about the status of husband and wife at all. He rejected me very straightforwardly. Xiao Ran, I feel that you've changed a lot recently. Papa, who sat down beside Hu Ran. Divorce is your choice. Since you've already walked out of the Sheng family, why bother going back? Can't I go back on my choice? Papa, who saw that his daughter seemed to be stuck in a dead end, so he patted her shoulder and said, You only think that way because you haven't met a better person. Xiao Ran, you are the daughter of the dignified Hu family and the apple of my eye. Why are you rushing to throw yourself at someone else? Dad, I can't accept this. Alright, after a long time you'll fade away. Listen to Daddy. Hu Ran did not say anything. She still sat in the yard. No matter how she thought about it, she felt that she had been humiliated by Sheng Bowen. Most importantly, what was the relationship between Sheng Bowen and his secretary? Was there anything unusual going on between them during their marriage? She had to find out the answer. She had been a fool for a few years and had been bullied for a few years. It was precisely because of this that she could not tolerate betrayal. Therefore, she would definitely find someone to keep an eye on Secretary Ren. However, she did not know that Sheng Bowen had already asked Mu Qiqi to help him. Because of her rich combat experience, Mu Qiqi had a strong desire to beat down those unwitting B*****. In Mu Qiqi's heart, when she was her third sister-in-law, Mu Qiqi could get close to her because of Sheng Bowen. However, once she left Sheng Bowen, Hu Ran would not be on Mu Qiqi's list of people who would protect her. On the other side, Tang Yen was secretly paying attention to the movements of those people after they were released from prison. They had indeed become smarter. After all, they had been in prison and knew how to lay low. Therefore, if they committed crimes again, it would be even more difficult to hunt them down. Feng Shanshan packed her things at home. During the day, she had already taken the time to look at the house and sign the contract with the agent. Soon, she and Tang Yen would be able to move into the new house. I'll go to school tomorrow to settle the withdrawal procedures, Feng Shanshan said to Tang Yen while packing her things. I'll go with you, Tang Yen said directly. Feng Shanshan wanted to refuse, but on second thought, she was burdened by this man, so he should accompany her. After you accompany me to settle the procedures, you can go back to work. As the captain, your vacation is too long. After I settle down with you, I know what I'm doing, Tang Yen replied as he leaned against the sofa. Feng Shanshan could not be bothered to persuade him, so she went straight to the bathroom. After a while, Tang Yen followed her in. As he took off his clothes, he asked her, When is your birthday? June. What's wrong? Summer, my favorite season. Is the right time to get married. Tang Yen threw away his sweater and walked to Feng Shanshan. I made you lose your studies and your future. I'll use myself to make up for it. Do you think it's worth it? Feng Shanshan took the opportunity to put her arms around Tang Yan's neck and chuckled. You're a husband who will disappear at any time. With a family I won't be like before, Tang Yen promised seriously. Words are no guarantee. You'll write a guarantee later. Tang Yen could not do anything to Feng Shanshan. He could only press her against the wall and kiss her hard. This woman was too special and made people worry about her. She had lost her studies and reputation, but she was not anxious at all. She was not sad or disappointed at all. It was as if everything was a small matter. But the more magnanimous she was, the more worried Tang Yen was. Because he knew that Feng Shanshan could do anything for him. The next day, Feng Shanshan told Mu Qiqi on the way that she would go to school to settle the matter of dropping out. Mu Qiqi guessed that a certain captain would definitely follow, so she was not worried. I wanted to find 2 bodyguards for you, but you probably won't need them. I realize that you're not only sharp-eyed but also clairvoyant. You can see things from so far away. Since you know who the mastermind is, are you just going to let it go? Mu Qiqi asked Feng Shanshan. They came openly and we fought them openly. Since they played dirty tricks behind our backs, we can only return the favor. This has nothing to do with you. Don't get involved. Feng Shanshan said to Mu Qiqi anxiously, Shao Qi, I know you're angry for me, but now is not the time to deal with him. Up to you, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. He was taking revenge for his brother. Feng Shanshan thought to herself that those outlaws' lives were worthless. If they really hurt the precious Mu Qiqi, Xing Xiao would definitely flatten Xing Ting. I'm at the school gate. Let's stop talking. In fact, Mu Qiqi had just gotten out of the car and saw Feng Shanshan and Xing Xiao in front of her. It was breakfast time for the students, so there were many people in the school. Feng Shanshan's appearance in the school at this time inevitably attracted people's attention, especially when there was a man beside her. Why does this man look so familiar? I think I've seen him somewhere before. So handsome. This man is so stylish. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.